Timothy Olsen. One of the longest intros ever.
Damn right it is. Hey, welcome to Apex After Dark, everyone. Yeah, Season 2, Episode 8. We got Dan, Evans, GodFoe, Universe, of course, my humble co-host, Devil Flower Rex, Momentum, and we got Abby. Hello.
Yeah, Abigail. Yeah.
Abigail.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. Very cool.
Good to meet you, Dan.
Me too.
Yeah.
Do you just go by Rex? Is that how I address you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, only one spelling on that.
You have the most impressive background wall of any streamer ever.
Yeah, they even have the time-traveling shower back there.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's great. Got the time shower. Hell yeah, man. So, yeah, I've seen some of your work, your Legacy Comics. I don't know. I think on Facebook and other stuff. I've thought I've had you on before, but actually, this is the first time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, the GodFoe universe. So, is it still Legacy Comics, or have you changed it up to GodFoe?
Well, Legacy was an independent publisher we had signed with to do a 6-page ashcan.
Yeah.
Our artist Josh Adams is on their payroll or whatever, and that's how we kind of get in with them. And then when we wanted to do our own thing, we kind of we had some internal differences, no real hard feelings. It's just they are kind of going, Legacy's pushing Legacy, and we have so much stuff we're pushing our own thing. So after that one, we just kind of split, and it was amicable.
So it's sort of like Malibu with Image in a way.
Yeah, except way less, I guess, Lamborghinis involved.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Wouldn't it be great to go back to the 90s and actually all of us can afford Lamborghinis doing comic books?
Yeah, well, that's what's funny is your intro music reminded me kind of Tool, and that's what I was thinking. I was like,
yeah,
this is a very 90s influence thing, which is great. I mean, that's when I grew up, so.
Now,
yeah, man.
Are you on Pacific time? Are you Central? You Eastern?
Eastern.
Okay, Eastern.
Oh, you're Eastern,
Yep.
and you hadn't put the kids to bed yet? Oh my goodness!
Oh, yeah, it's kind of late. An hour later than where I.
Well, the baby went to sleep earlier. The 3-year-old, she went to a birthday party today, so she's kind of wired on sugar.
Oh yeah.
My cake, Daddy.
Yeah, that's exactly how she sounds.
Wow, we got Timothy Olsen. What's up, Apex? Everything.
Now, Dan, are you going to see the new Godzilla movie?
-1? Yeah, that one looks great. I'd love to see it.
Me too.
Yeah.
As if World War II wasn't enough, Tokyo gets destroyed by a giant lizard.
Well, if they hold on long enough, we might have World War III soon. So.
Yeah. Easy comics for your hello. Yeah, I heard Kurt Russell was in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then it must be good.
I've been binge watching the original Lost in Space, and he was on one episode in season 2.
Iguana.
He was 12 years old, or something like that. He was young.
He still had a beard.
Right.
Handlebar mustache, like in Tombstone.
Yeah. Snake Plissken himself.
He's going to show up in Godzilla -1 and kill Godzilla, and it turns out Godzilla's the Thing.
Yeah, right? No wonder it's so cool interconnected universes.
Well, what's funny is that my buddy, we've had him on our show before, Spencer Selman. He runs a Brazil. He runs like a national kind of recognized Brazilian jiu-jitsu studio down in Florence, South Carolina. But that dude is the biggest Godzilla fan. Like, we had him on for one episode, and he talked for like 2 hours about Godzilla, and he's hyped for -1. I've got to get him back on. But if you guys like, I can hook you up if you guys want to just talk Godzilla and kaiju. That's your guy.
Now, are you into horror movies and things like that? Last week we had a horror mic on talking horror movies.
I do like. I more liked horror movies as a kid because of the practical effects, and that's what I still find myself drawn to. Like, I've seen some of the bigger ones, like like The Ring, The Conjuring, like the big franchises. I saw the original Saw, but what always makes me want to watch horror movies is usually the effects, especially practical effects. Yeah. I like the, what was it? One of my favorite ones that come out the past 10 years was, I keep wanting to call it The Shape of Water, but it's not The Shape of Water. It sounds like a cure for wellness. But they're always drinking water. That's why I keep thinking it's The Shape of Water, because it turns out the water is like the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, basically, that was his Creature of Black Lagoon, The Shape of Water, right? I actually bought that one. It's kind of a love story with the
kind of a romantic kind of thing,
or whatever.
Monsters and fill your bathroom full of water. Here comes the
That's not going to happen. You're going to be leaking all over the neighborhood.
All the Twilight girls moved over to that one. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what happened.
What is the GodFoe universe all about?
All right. Well, the GodFoe universe it's one story. It's a giant narrative broken into different eras over the course of several millennia. So it starts with Apollyon 20XX, which is the book we just put out on Indiegogo 2 days ago. It starts with that era, which is close to our time, and it goes for several millennia, kind of like Dune. But we break all these different stories and genres up into different eras. Like, there'll be the Biophile era, which will be coming out next year. And each era is something that people can just pop into and read a selected work that is self-contained, but is also part of the overarching narrative.
Is your project the one that I've seen on Fund My Comic?
No, it's not on Fund My Comic.
It's
on
not.
Indiegogo.
It's just on Indiegogo, unless someone is impersonating me.
Well, it could be.
God, no.
Wah.
Crazy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there's some Chinese guy that's ripping me off right now.
Funny, I know. Tony accent. Ha!
Yeah.
Rip you off.
Okay, so you launched it for 60 days. Just launched.
$154.
Oh yeah.
So guys, check this out.
So will that be Apollyon 2000? Am I reading that right?
You're the first person to get the first word right. We usually call it Apollyon 20XX, but you're the only person to read it as Apollyon. Congratulations.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Word Wizard Captain Finity said, self-contained but simultaneously not self-contained. Yeah, we want people to jump in anywhere and not be lost. So self-contained and then self-contained within itself.
Complete story, but it has threads to other stories that you're doing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I get a Celestials, Jack Kirby's Celestials feel to that one character in front there.
Yeah, that's Zero, the main character. Come or Go, the main character. He for Apollyon 20XX, the main magic system, if we have to use that term, is Impera metal. It's an alien metal that's landed on Earth, and a group of global elites trying to control the Earth have harnessed the power of it and started experimenting on people to trying to control humans using it. Zero has been augmented, that's their term, if you had to say mutants basically, has been augmented with an Impera metal head. And he's able to kind of feel the memories and manipulate the memories of people around him. I think we go into character explanation as you scroll down.
What's the page count on this bad boy?
175 glorious black and white pages.
Oh, wow.
Ready to go.
Yeah, these are tomes. These are epics.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how many of these have you come out with, the different eras? Is this the second
goodness.
one?
This is chronologically the first one. We had actually built the second one, Biophile the Biofile Initiative before, and we actually finished a comic with it. We went back and redid the entire comic, and it'll be coming out spring of next year. We have an entire 90,000 word novel that is finished, and that's actually in the final era, the Black Star era. So we started on both ends to bookend it, and we're filling in as we go.
Will that be part of a future crowdfunder? The novel?
Well, we don't know if we're going to crowdfund or just put it directly on our site, but yeah. Okay. And it's done, and that's going to be a series.
Doc Blaylock's doing one. I just talked to somebody who's got a whole novel near finished. Actually, that's been a thing lately in the last year.
Kingdom, Jack Katz.
Yeah, and a lot of that I think has come from people have credited kind of Brandon Sanderson when he branched off, kind of went indie and started just throwing his books out on his site for people at crowdfunding, and I think it's great. Like I've got a stack of books right here. I hate to say reading is brag, but it's because that's such a pretentious way to say that. But people are buying novels again. It's not just wine moms buying YA novels, you know?
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
If you have good material, people will look for it. They'll buy it.
I hope so. I hope both of those things.
I will definitely feature this on my channel tomorrow.
Well, thank you, Rex.
It just launched, so, we need to get some eyes on it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
I do a daily show at 4 o'clock Central, 5 years.
Oh, wow.
So,
4 o'clock shadow.
You might want to check it out sometime.
Yeah.
Well, we're the South. We're always a little behind.
It's not for me with cats. It is top shelf. People, are you familiar with First Kingdom by Jack Katz?
I'm not sure. I may have seen. Let me see. First Kingdom.
Is this black and white and gray tone on the interior?
Yes.
Actually, oh, it is.
And would you describe this as wordy? Because that's a big caption he's got up there right now.
Well, that's a character sheet. Okay. Some pages are wordy. Kind of like Grendel, Devil by the Deed. If you remember that very first book that Matt Wagner did. Right. So there will be some pages that are just art, and they're kind of that experimental French comic style, but most of it is dialogue and fight scenes. These are just character sheets I put together with clippings of the character from the book.
Now, are you the writer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. And then who's your art team and everything?
Josh Adams. It's one guy. He does everything. He's absolutely brilliant.
So he does the lettering, the inking, the drawing, everything.
Drawing digital, I guess, or
he does physical and digital. Just depending on how he feels, he'll sometimes sketch out in whole pages, scan it in, then finish digital. Sometimes he'll start digital. I mean, he's taught art for like 15 years, something ridiculous. And he's just really, really, really good. And you can see some of his other work on some of other legacy properties too. I'll throw him that way. I mean, he used to do like shoe designs for people he knew and kind of stuff. Like, yeah, he's great.
Any original artwork on this or plan to be added to this campaign? Because original artwork really sells with people.
I think you may need more tiers to actually get to 1,500. I'm not maybe a big.
Well, we've got some. I could add it to it. I just wanted to kind of start small. But yeah, we can add anything because, like I said, he's got all the time in the world to do it. So it's great.
That's great.
Now, what's kind of your comic book background? How did you kind of come about doing this, and what were your inspirations? Mine was kind of like Avengers and other things like that.
Well, I had two older brothers. I was born in the mid '80s. And had two older brothers, and of course a dad who kind of had comics, but there was always stuff laying around. And I always remember, of course, I grew up in the '90s when the '90s wave hit, and everything was extreme. And of course, loved McFarlane. I have the first 100 Spawn right here, but him and Capullo, that kind of stuff. I always gravitate because we had Spider-Man, X-Men. I liked Jim Lee's X-Men, of course. But I always kind of gravitated to the weirder ones, and Spawn, for me, when I was a kid, was my first venture into that. I remember, like, Evil Eddie really caught my eye.
Oh, yeah.
Evil Ernie, I'm sorry, not Eddie. Evil Ernie caught my eye. I had a few of his. But I really, this is going to sound, I don't want to go into the whole controversy of it, but what really blew my mind was Cerebus.
Yeah.
And I know people go back and forth. I don't care. I've got Reed's right over there. I don't care. It's a fantastic book.
It is.
Yeah, and what really impressed me about him and a lot of others, especially like Matt Wagner, I've loved Grendel since I was a kid. I somehow when I was a kid, man, like 7 or 8, I somehow got a copy of a Grendel comic, and it just blew my mind. It was an early one too.
Yeah.
And I've always loved those kind of weird esoteric dudes that just do their own thing. So I mean, I've got peripheral. Of course, I've got the Frank
Something
Miller
like
classics. I've got the
Sandman
Alan Moores.
or
Yeah, I've got Sandman, all 10 of them over here. I consider those kind of like the classics that people have.
Yeah.
Sin City, of course, but I really really liked
Yes.
the guys that kind of just did it huge and didn't care.
Exactly. I like to do projects you like. You don't know if people will like it or not, but if you tend to like them, it's worth doing it. Just do it.
Shadowhawk Backs, formerly Backs, Shadowhawk Talks
very cool.
is my co-host over there on my channel.
All right. Well, thanks. Oh, Shadow. Yeah, I think we're friends on Twitter. Or maybe you ignored me.
Oh yeah. Well, he's a major backer. He's backed about 400 projects.
I've definitely recognized that avatar because I remember how cool it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I was part of that 90s, right? He was the big Shadowhawk fan.
About 35 pages. Yeah. Melvin 4's 35 pages so far, says Timothy Olsen. That's cool.
Hey, all right. Man. Melvin 4, I remember I've heard talk of that as well.
Yeah, it's over on My Comic, or was.
I'm such an introvert and such a private person. I'm still trying to navigate indie comics, so I'm really glad you guys reached out to me because I'm not great.
Don't you think that writers are kind of like that, though?
Maybe.
Like our quiet times.
Yeah.
Kind of mull over our...
We get on here, we get loud.
Yeah. It's when you open your mouth and get in trouble.
Yeah, that's me to a T. Oh, well.
I like freedom of speech. I don't care who doesn't or not. It's, you got to speak your mind at times. You got to feel what you feel.
Yeah, but there's times when you want to get alone and not talk to anybody, just to think.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
As a writer. To nail something down,
Well, that's my wife and I have that joke is our two most said things. Hers is, "Can you help me?" and mine is, "Can you leave me alone?"
See, Captain Infinity, he mentions a script. What I do is I do like thumbnails. I think cinematic. I try and tell the story in the pictures before adding dialogue's the last thing I do. Because
so
the stories is going by the pictures and what I want in there.
Are you both artists?
I'm a writer and artist. I've been independent since 1996.
Nice.
I'm a writer and artist.
I can't draw to save my life. I send Josh little stick figures.
Okay,
oh wow!
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's cool.
And here's the second page there. We've got the first panel done, pretty much nailed down.
Man, that's awesome.
And then this will be blacked out, and you'll see what he's seeing, and then him in the foreground, probably.
Yeah,
that's great.
But yeah, we're working on different things.
Well, Rex, what's your accent, if you don't mind me asking?
Northeast Arkansas.
Okay, I get
down in Texas, Apex.
Okay,
Texas.
I'm in Texas. Yeah,
I can pick up just a little bit of it. That's great. It's so much better than like the flat you kind of get from some people. They all kind of talk like the modern speak, or kind of like Valley Girl. Like,
oh Lord,
yeah, right? Yeah. Yeah, I've been called the female Mandy Summers before when I first. Love you, I can't do Mandy.
I actually recognize that name. That's rare for me.
Only Mandy can do Mandy.
Mandy can do Mandy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're familiar with some of the larger, they're still professionals, but comic book artists like Ethan Van Sciver, right? With Cyberfrog and all that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I had some of his Green Lanterns back in the day.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I know I have a bunch of one that he did a cover to The Flash.
Oh, wow.
He was kind of all over the place. He did Impulse and other characters.
Batman, I think. And Hawkman and
he dipped his toe in several things,
Some of his work, yeah.
But
so Josh Adams, your artist, right? Josh.
Yeah, I'm gonna respond to him. People can follow him. Yeah, he's on Twitter and Instagram, and he's fantastic.
How you doing, man? Good to see you. All right.
But yeah,
Or Adams?
It is a shame that a lot of the kind of, I guess, other than like Sean Gordon Murphy and a few of those guys, like a lot of the kind of big rock star artists, you know, they're kind of going their own way now. And what are you supposed to do? Like Marvel and DC aren't putting them to work. Like,
No, they're hiring artists from Cal Arts and terrible writers over there. Good luck. I think the last thing that came out was Daniel Warren Johnson's Betty Ray Bill.
That was I like him. He did didn't he do Wonder Woman Dead Earth?
Haven't seen that one.
I think he did that one. It was I really like his style. He does really good blending kind of that cartoon with classic comic.
Sam Keith. It reminds me a little bit of Sam Keith.
Yeah. Well, I've got the first appearance of Cyber right down here that he did with Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that, and the Max, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's another one. That's another one I should have mentioned. Yeah, I loved the Max as a kid. I somehow got my hands on that one as a kid, and it messed me up. In the
Probably
head.
Dale Keown's Pit, maybe.
I remember Pit. Yeah. That and Savage Dragon. Oh.
Yeah, by Eric Larson.
There's a lot of. Unfortunately, I had Youngbloods 1, thinking it was gonna be worth something.
Well, don't be. It's worth about $25. In near mint. So the thing of it is,
it's not near mint.
They put out millions of those things. That's the thing about it. See.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm going to show off a little bit what I have. I got Fembat as a page.
Oh, nice. I've actually seen that. Yeah, I've actually seen images of that from your page.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Go-go dancer from the 1960s get bit by a vampire, looking for the person who bit her to kill the vampire.
And I have read the story because he sent me sort of a reduced copy.
Have you read it yet?
Yeah. I have not.
We're gonna do Devil Flyer versus Fembat.
Nice.
We're gonna do kind of a crossover.
I love the colors on that. Can I see it one more time?
Oh yeah, it's all markers. I do myself.
Well, it's always better. It's always better. It's always better in person than like when you see it like on Instagram or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
With markers. He's been doing it for decades. So
yes,
yeah, that's great.
He's got some of the cleanest looking marker work I've seen.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of guys overdo it, and you can see the marks and everything. That looks great.
Not with him. He doesn't streak.
That's the word I'm looking for, yeah.
It's hard not to streak.
Is that a Ray Stevens joke?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I had that VHS of his as a kid. What was it? Was it Me Again? It had Me Again, Margaret? What was it that was released in the church? A chipmunk or something?
Share my screen, will you? And I'll show my trailer.
Screen, sir. Yes.
This is a new trailer that Doc.
Let's check this baby out.
Oh, nice.
Let me know when it's up.
Let me get the. Yeah, hold on. It's. Oh shit. Where am I? Okay. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Well, let's see.
Sorta.
There we go. Sorta.
Got sound?
Yeah, can you hear it?
No. Let's hear heavy breathing.
Oh, that must be me. Oh crap. Okay. Well, all right. I will. All right. Wait a minute. What I'll do is I'll put my earbuds up to the microphone. Maybe you'll be able to hear it then. I'll crank it all the way up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We need to hear something.
All right. Here we go.
Take two. No music.
Okay. Well, you had to deal without it.
All right.
Just visual.
We could listen to your voice as you advertise. Here it is. Devil Flyer. I like the red.
Oh, there it goes. You can hear it.
A little bit. You turn it up a bit. I like it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Who has the asthma? I don't know. Does anybody have asthma? Oh, that is a new metal band. Nice, Timothy. Good one. Looks way
Oh, that's
cool.
a cool.
It is.
Yeah.
I love that John Dillard cover. Wow, I'm definitely getting that one. Oh shit, Devil Flyer looks dope as my read. Yeah. Unless you want to buy it. Buy it, fund my comic.
Well, that's that's what you want, right?
That's right. That's what you want.
I've heard good things with Fund My Comic. I didn't check them out, but I need to.
Yeah. They take like 4%. You can get it down to 3% very easily too.
That's not bad.
It's a lot better than 6 or 7%. And yeah,
we were on Matt Barr's Pre-King show last week, and a lot of guys were pushing Fund My Comic. I was like, well, I got to check it out because I just haven't yet, and I need to.
Definitely. I'm putting Fanbat on Fund My Comic, and later on possibly Indiegogo. So,
Yeah.
Well, it cuts out the shadow banning that's been going on.
That's yeah.
A lot of people do Kickstarter, and a lot of people don't do Kickstarter.
Right.
So
We avoided Kickstarter only because we wanted to be able to go to cons because we had a few cons where we could take a laptop, get people to go ahead and sign up on Indiegogo. Kickstarter, you have to make an account and all that. And we're like, no, we don't. We didn't want people to have to do all that. That and we don't sell titty books, so that's why we're not on Kickstarter.
what's up, Daniel? How you doing? All right. Horror Mike, greetings. How
hey,
you doing?
Horror Mike, he was on with us.
Rex
on
Hex
the
and Apex.
Rex Hex and Apex.
We have a show every other Saturday called Rex Hex and Apex on 11
Nice.
p.m. Central, 12 p.m. where you are, or if
Yeah.
you're on the West Coast, it's 9 in the morning. So yeah, we have different guests on there. Fun on that show.
Well, I gotta say, you guys have the nicest chat so far because like a lot of places we go, like the people are just vicious.
Brutal.
Yeah.
In front of you.
It's like my face isn't on the comic. Why are we attacking this?
Has their own little world of speak going on. Yeah.
Well, I like that you're kind of doing it. I kind of,
Hey.
as a model, kind of J. Michael Straczynski talking about Babylon 5. He said,
Oh yeah.
I wrote 1,000,000 years in the past, and I wrote 1,000,000 years in the future, so I would know where I've been and where I'm going with the story.
And his brilliance to have, he had stories written for each character if like an actor left or something. Like he had it down to the T.
Yeah.
Like brilliant. Right, I actually follow him on Twitter.
And they just came out with an animated. I don't know if you know that, but they just came out with an animated about a month ago. I didn't even know it was coming out. I just saw it and bought it.
Oh wow!
The Blu-ray.
Road Home. I would
Road
suggest
Home.
Owning up on the whole series and then watch this. It'll probably make
yeah.
sense to you. It's not that overly complicated, but you might want to refresh your memory on some things. And they're doing a remake. J. Michael Straczynski's doing a remake of Babylon 5. So that's
Jeez.
Of course, most of the original actors have passed away.
Oh yeah.
Boxleitner's still around and a couple others, but most of them are, have passed away.
I've not seen Bruce Boxleitner in like years.
But Disney's not making it though, right?
No. God, no.
We hope not.
I think they very much shit the fan on when it comes to the Marvels. Who's gonna watch that? People who like the Brady Bunch? I don't know.
Man,
I mean,
until yesterday I saw a picture of it. I forgot that Indy 5 even got made. Like I forgot that movie existed. In Indiana Jones 5, like the last one. Yeah, I forgot that movie existed.
Well, it was probably delayed because of the strike, but yeah, it got made, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Harrison Ford, 80-year-old, drag my 80-year-old ass out there.
They've got to drive that mule into the ground,
Yeah,
totally.
That Ford.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost an extinction event. The meteorite comes crashing down, and it's so hard it, just wipes out everything. Their bottom line, we hope, and then these things come in cycles, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it takes these executives 5 or 6 years even to go, oh, we made a mistake.
Oh, Mike said Indiana Jones 5, people 0.
Right?
That's so true.
No doubt. Then we got to check out God's one.
They probably should have stopped at.
It should have stopped at 4, not even. Yeah.
2.
Yeah. The third one's great. I love the third.
Yeah, it's okay.
Sean Connery, come on.
Well, all right,
Oh yeah. When
Yeah, no, that's the name of our dog.
Yeah, we named the dog in. We were named after the dog. I love Sean Connery's in so many movies where his accent isn't addressed and nobody cares.
Right, exactly. He's got such an on-screen
Scottish
presence.
It was like
It's
an
almost
Another
hard for me
character.
to
I'm
not say
Spaniard.
James
yeah.
Bond.
I was like in Highlander. He was a Spaniard with a katana, and he's Sean Connery.
It's Sean Connery. God loves Sean Connery, man.
It's like when John Wayne played Genghis Khan.
Yeah,
Definitely, yeah.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to catch that one.
You're
Yeah.
about my daughter's age. She was born in '86, but
Yeah.
you know some lore. You know, like
Yeah, you do.
most people wouldn't even know that John Wayne played Genghis Khan.
I don't go outside, Rex.
Okay, well, I don't know. Let the dog out.
All
You
this
know.
whole comedian stuff.
Yeah.
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 We'll have to get you over on my channel too and get you some more exposure, Dan.
Awesome, man. I'd love it.
Make jokes about a really old Indiana Jones, but then one day there is an Indiana Jones, so the jokes stop being funny. You know? Yeah, man.
Are you just? How can people find you, Dan? Are you on Instagram or where are you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram as dan.evans.godfoeuniverse. I'm on Twitter. I usually just use the godfoe_universe Twitter. I have my own Twitter. I'll share all this in the chat.
Okay.
I'm kind of boring. Usually on my Twitter, I'm usually like making fun of like current events or posting like religious
the way I
stuff.
look at it, you leave that up to the host to make you interesting as possible.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So Dan is boring. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, right.
Later.
all I do is make stuff. I make music. I write.
Yeah. I see the hair.
Yeah. Anything except visual art I can't draw, but anything else I can do. We're making a video game for the GodFoe universe.
So, you do your own
yeah.
music for it. Do you guys put out like a CD for your comics, or just?
That's what we're gonna do. The Biofile Initiative, which will be the next one. We've got 3 albums planned for that one.
Play drums.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, and the trailer for our comic, I did all the music for that. That's on an album by the band Blue Bolt, which is our band that's in the GodFoe universe. That's named after a character from the Black Star era. So we spent like a decade building all this. So we've got like tons in the pipeline.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what we're going to do with our life.
I know, I'm stuck in the attic or basement and do my
So
comics.
did this
and my
kind of
music.
start with Legacy?
No.
It's a different company,
No.
Rex. Yeah,
Yeah,
Right, I
no,
know,
but Legacy just basically met Josh, wanted him as an artist, so they signed him, and this is what he was working on. They're like, hey, cool, he's got a comic, and this is what we were doing. Legacy wanted us to do the 6-page ash can. We didn't want to do it. We did it anyway. It's a cool work of art. We're selling it as an add-on,
Oh, that's good.
but our universe is huge, and Apollyon 20XX, that era is just massive. And it's like 6 pages. That's not going to work, man. We need at least like 150, 200.
Holy
Oh,
crap.
yeah.
And yeah, I swear he looks like the lead singer of Korn. I don't know to be insulted or not.
You look a little bit like
Well, you
Let me,
you know,
Let me start
I'm
beatboxing.
it's some indie books like indie projects like yours, where it has like 170. How big?
175 at least. Yeah.
I mean, see that just from an artistic standpoint,
hmm
that's
Oh,
quite
yeah.
a commitment
That's
out of a
so
person to stick with a project that long. Or
Oh yeah,
however long.
it's scratching the surface. Like we've written about 3 different graphic novels over the past year or 2.
wow.
Oh man, Timothy Olsen, the Are You Ready? Is that a Korn reference or a Creed reference?
With the different eras that you have that you're coming out, are you going to do it artistic?
I do,
Are you going to
yeah.
stay with the same artist or having a different artistic style for each era?
Well, Josh is like we're partners. Like we both made the GodFoe universe like together. So he is head of art over everything. Even if it means finding another artist, he will approve them. He vetoes. He has full vetoing power over art. That's in the book. Because you've got to respect your artists. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
But we are completely open to getting other artists and having different formats and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we're very experimental, man. Like for this one, Apollyon 20XX, I even wrote Apollyon 20XX Lamentations and Apollyon 20XX Revelations, which are independent stories within the world of people who aren't the main characters experiencing what's going on. And it's like, one of them's 80 pages, one of them's about 50, 60 pages. I'm about to publish that. It's like 150 pages or so of stuff. We love creating and we love giving stuff out. So I made all that, and I partnered with a photographer friend of ours, Colin Finlayson, who is absolutely brilliant. And I don't know, man, like I have... Can I get super serious right now? Is that all right?
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Okay.
I don't like doing this because I don't like connecting personal life with business. But
Right.
I'm 36, 37 years old, from whatever I can remember. But I have two older brothers, and my oldest brother, who is very much like me, in 2020 went behind my parents' house and killed himself.
Oh no.
And that event, because we had already been working and building a lot of this stuff, but that event made me say, I'm going to sit down and finish everything that comes to my head.
Kind of used it as a motivator. You wanted to complete it for your brother as well as yourself.
Before you pass
Yeah, and also that's not going to be me. I have children. He didn't.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But I'm not ashamed. Like if we sent out chapter 1 to people who signed up. There were some grammatical errors. I don't care. They're going to get fixed. My mentality and Josh's is fail forward.
Yeah.
There's just like in the world, especially like in the world of auto-tune, the world of everything that's digitized, and everybody is trying to scrub mistakes at all time. That's not punk rock, man. Make something cool, make something huge, and just keep making it.
Yeah.
Like that's what we're gonna do. All right, Word Wizard Captain Infinity. So 165 pages is the minimum. It's like the minimum commitment. No, Biophile Kolga, which comes out next year, is going to be about 80 pages, and that one is going to be kind of shorter intervals. Apollyon is a 6 or 7 character ensemble, kind of like
square bound. You think? Or that many pages?
Or
maybe.
hardback.
It won't be hardback. We might do a hardback edition later. This one we're trying to keep costs down right now.
Oh, yeah.
We've made a lot of stuff digital, like the Lamentations and Revelations are add-ons. I guess what I would say is, look, and I'm not trying. This isn't bragging. Everybody, go check out the campaign. There's a ton of stuff in there. Even if you don't buy something, or if you just buy a digital tier, and go to our website, GodFoeUniverse.com, you will find a lot of stuff. We have a blog about our thoughts and ideas on the current state of things as we're making the book. We have a YouTube channel where we have the Lamentations, Revelations you can read on there. We love creating stuff because we don't sleep. And we love to give stuff out. We charge because it's very hard for us to... I mean, we're going to buy this book anyway if it doesn't fund.
Yeah.
Because we're going to sell it to local comic shops. We're going to make it. Mm-hmm. I would prefer it funds.
Oh, of course. Yeah, money to start.
But we're here to stay. We're not reliant on a scene. We're not here to impress people on Twitter. We're not here to impress other creators. We love other creators, such as yourselves, Brett, such as yourself, Rex, especially the good ones. But we're not here to get into drama. We're not here to get into stupidity. I create because if I don't, I'll die.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, you
You got something to say? What would you say is your overarching, like with Devil Flyer? That's a long 6-story arc, more than that actually. That's kind of self-contained, like you say. You have to kind of make it that way because we're not putting out monthly books here. But it's basically a redemption story.
Yeah.
What would you say? I know with this book, let's just stick with this book. What would you say your overall message? What are you trying to say with this, besides establishing your own universe?
There's a few things. One of them is the danger of groupthink, of ideological possession. You can't run from the past, and the overarching arc of all of our eras and the GodFoe universe, and this isn't to open up a religious door, it's a philosophical door.
Right.
It's that man can't be God. Man cannot control every single aspect of the world, and that's what this book is about, and that's what all of our stuff is about.
That's very cool.
Yeah, because I'm not going to get into politics, but I mean we're seeing the rise of tyranny.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Recognize it.
You're in good company here. We believe that too.
Yeah.
This almost looks like a movie poster.
It does.
Well, thank you. That's all Josh. I don't do anything artistically.
If
Yeah,
you put
he's
out a
working.
poster like that,
I
right,
don't know. Can we get Josh on instead? Anyway,
He's actually at a wedding because he's an ordained pastor, so he had to do a wedding.
all right. Well, you know, I think your politics and your religion should inform your message.
Oh
Not
yeah.
necessarily be.
Oh, dude, man, Rex, if you want to go on a 4-hour talk about it, I'm more than happy to.
I can. Yeah, I use.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah.
This is a short film we made that goes along with the Apollyon 20XX.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we've got more of these coming too. This is also Colin Finlayson, brilliant cinematographer.
Oh, the tide.
great.
More than 10%. Are you in this?
Yeah, I'm the guy in the black gloves. The actor is our friend Shane, brilliant Shane Carmichael. He's a wonderful cosplayer. I can link him as well.
I like the music.
Thank you, my friend Jonathan Seal, who's in my band, made it.
And how many members in your band?
4.
Okay. How would you describe your band music?
We call it progressive punk. We write like 8-minute songs, but they're not pretentious.
Okay. All right.
You can check it out. I can link to that.
Musical or?
No, it's about half and half, but
Okay.
there's some singing in it. We're putting out some new stuff. We have an old record we made in college that's up on Spotify, but we're making some more. Yeah.
Nick Allen, you ought to get in here now. It's early for you. You're on West Coast. That's a message all in itself. We all kind of wear a mask, don't we?
Yeah.
Or multiple masks. Where do you perform your music at? You have nightclubs? What?
Yeah, we've played around a good bit. We've played up on some of the East Coast a little bit. Right now we just focused. Past year we just focused on building a studio at our friend's house. He has a pool house that him and his dad built, and we bought all the equipment. We put it together. I mean, I can link all this. I can put it down here.
Are you cutting any albums or?
Oh yeah, next year we're cutting at least the first one for the Biophile Initiative. It'll be called Biophile Marcus, and then we got two more planned for that as well. I have another project called Pentecost, which is more of a straight kind of blues punk thing. That album's done. It's just getting mixed right now by a buddy of mine.
Odin Drasko has a campaign, and he's released music with his black light sensitive colored project. You know,
nice. I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Sort of.
It was like power metal kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the total immersive thing, right?
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do. Like, especially with the website, we really want to have like a hub, because there's only like 3 websites people go to now, and they're all social media. There used to be like dedicated sites where you could go down a black hole and get into stuff. It just, I don't know. We want to make everything we touch, like every genre we're a part of, comics, music, sites, video games, make it cool again. Mm-hmm. Like, because so much stuff is just so overthought, man. So like, even indie gamers, like I like indie games and stuff, but when you see it, you're like, man, like, you guys are, just make it fun and cool. Like, just it can be kind of crappy. Like, I was I don't know if you guys are into anime, but I was ripping some episodes of Evangelion earlier, and it had like, it would turn green and pixelate a little bit because someone ripped it off a DVD, and I'm like, I love that stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't know. We try to take a punk rock approach to everything.
Yeah, that's what they did back in the '80s. I remember Outlaw Comics, a lot of Tim
Mm-hmm.
Vigil, those guys.
Yeah.
Storyline. They put out whatever they want to put it out. They don't care what the public thinks. Just put it out there. Get the message out, however you want to do it.
Yeah, and you can do that and still be the best customer service on the planet.
Yeah.
But the big thing is, there's just, I'm not trying to go off on a tangent, man, or start controversy because it's the opposite. But there's so much drama farming. I thought
Right.
I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
music was like, dude, when you're in bands, I mean, you're always trying to screw each other over. There's like, I mean, you'll get like stabbed by the same guy that pays you at a venue.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure you know. Like, but like comics, it's like those guys somehow, even more like 12-year-old girls. Like,
Yeah. It's like 50-year-old people like
Well, it's not everybody that gets drawn into that, but it's
no, that's not everybody.
controversy and drama sells. Everybody
Yeah.
wants to hit the big, so. And then there's some boats
Mike.
passing in the night, that you don't
Yeah.
notice. So, I just say put your head down and the grindstone, like you say, never leave the house and get the work done. And
Oh, yeah.
let the work speak for itself.
And it might be slower, but I mean, I don't know. You either make something that lasts. Don't make something that's like a flash in the pan. We're kind of even seeing that with some guys. They made something that might sell a lot, but they can't follow up, or it takes 5 years to put it out, and it's not quality. I get some dudes. Some dudes take it a long time because they're masters. I get it.
Like
Yeah.
EBS and,
Yeah, and it gets done and it gets put out. But some guys they'll take the money and run. And
I would never do that. This is,
no,
they're gonna get caught anyway, and people are not gonna like it. You're gonna lose fans. You're gonna lose customers. It's not worth it. Put out the product, get the people what they want.
yeah. But
Oh yeah, I was on Mike.
Mike.
I was on Mike Walters last night. We went over what was it, Superman and Adventure Comics with the Spectre, and the King, and I did the female voices on that show to catch Mike's stand from last night.
Oh yeah.
I was on with RJ, Critical Blast.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm following Mike Walters right now on Twitter as we speak. Or Mike Walters. I'm sorry. I saw another Mark pop up here. Please don't hit me through the screen. I got dyslexia, man. Give me a break. But no, it's just this is a breath of fresh air. A lot of stuff just seems very, very cynical or just ingenuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got diehard collectors like I and Apex, that care about the genre. We grew up with, it was great in the '70s when we were, and seeing George Perez and John Byrne and some of the greats that were, with some great writers, Chris Claremont and others, and Jim Shooter, and in the '80s, it kind of progressed. They went to the direct market, which eventually killed everything because it did away with newsstands and spinner racks where you could just walk in a pharmacy or grocery and go, "Oh, what's this?" and discover it for the very first time.
Your grocery store.
But it grew up. The stories got more complex. It seemed like the hobby was growing up with you. And then we hit the '90s, which was a new experience, but it wasn't necessarily a satisfying experience for some of the older collectors.
Yeah.
Even though we dipped our toe in the image thing as well.
Yeah.
And like some of the, like you say, just make something that's fun,
Yeah.
I mean, with the direct market, though, you got more complex stories like Sin City and the Vertigo, and a lot of that stuff was established during the '80s. Of course, a lot of indies, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tipped off, I think, tipped off, a lot of the black and white glut that hit in the '80s. Don Chin's Radioactive Black Belt Hamsters, and everybody was trying to be. But there were many comics
Yeah.
Kind of like Apex makes.
That's right. Trading card size.
Mini comics.
That's what I found interesting when I checked you guys out was the smaller ones. I was like, yeah, because I remember like some of the Macs was like that, wasn't it? It was like little tiny, like kind of printed pages for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're
customized.
Well, I know. I think it's Alterna. I forget. I get the names mixed up. Peter Samedi that does like King Cryptid. I think he still prints on newsprint, I believe.
Yeah. Not all the printers do. This is a couple of ones that Apex is.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Mini comics,
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's like a track.
Oh yeah, it is
like
like
a
a
Man of
track, yeah.
X and about.
I mean, look at the
28
size
yeah.
compared to my ash can.
Man, that's great.
I got a lot of ash cans. So you see on my wall. This way.
I've right above here. I've got our ash can and some other stuff over here, and
Everybody should do an ash can. The way mine came along is Devil Flyer #1 wasn't ready yet. You give yourself time. The prequel, which I just secured Jimmy Reyes to do a variant cover for us.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, man.
Trading him some artwork. We worked out a deal. Anyway, he's going to be doing
the
a
Apex
variant
Manifesto.
cover. I'll have 3 covers and all.
Demo tapes are for music. Yeah, they kind of are.
That's a good thing to say, Timothy. I wish we'd have written ours like that. We treated it like an art project. Oh, what can we do in 6 pages?
It's a good preview. I was told to, instead of prequel, call it a preview. Well, it's really not a preview. It's that's what the ash can was. It would have been all right to put preview on the ash can.
Ours is cool. It's just we did a 6-day creation myth basically. Mm-hmm. So the art's fantastic, and I think the story's fun. But it's like
one of the oldest comics I own is just a 4-page folder.
Can you hold it? Can you hold it up? Can I see it?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's Funny Weekly. It's from 1939.
See that?
GodFoe giveaway, and you would stamp your name in this box.
Oh, wow.
Sort of a Buck Rogers.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
1939.
Man, the colors still hold up.
I bought this on eBay years ago for about $10.
Wow.
How many of these still exist?
Not many.
And unstamped,
Yeah.
in any kind of condition. And it's just 4 pages. This character's on one page, and you open it up, and you've got different features, and on the back.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take a lot to do like a 4 to 8 page thing.
That's awesome.
Purposes.
PBR Street Gang said, "Do you tend to make stuff for kids, young adults, or mature readers?" We're trying to cover the gamut now. Polyon 20XX is probably for young adults. We wouldn't recommend it for anybody under 13. We do have some.
Kids, I had an 8-year-old subscribed to my channel today. I don't know how the hell I'm attracting kids to my damn channel. It's not for kids, but you know what? At the same time, God bless.
Okay, we don't want the kids unsubscribe. He doesn't want you here. So
no, it's fine.
Oh no. Okay.
Hey, as long as you just don't repeat the stuff that I say.
He's not on Pornhub, so that's better.
No, it's not fans only. Yeah.
Well,
I don't think over here we keep it pretty clean. I don't.
Yeah.
I think. I didn't even think about
Mike Walters
till I watched John Chin on his channel. He like asked everybody, what I did for the ash can last year. I think it was last year. It might have even been the year before. He said, well, what age group is this for?
Yeah.
And I never even really considered it,
Our thought process was, I was really influenced by older literature, and even up until the 90s, books like Red Fang, Call of the Wild, Red Badge of Courage, Swiss Family Robinson, even the I say modern,
like
it's not much like the 90s.
Or the classics illustrated that Dale.
Yeah, even a lot of that kind of stuff. But like the Giver, Ender's Game, like that stuff was written for kids, but they didn't think of for kids back then. It was like they didn't treat kids like they were stupid.
Right.
And that's what we kind of do is they think, Polyon 20XX has got violence in it, but we don't throw around a ton of language. or a ton of super gratuitous nudity. Yeah, which it's just we think like kids aren't stupid, but
Right.
you can write things for someone that a 12-year-old could pick up and that a 50-year-old could love.
Oh, absolutely. Look
Yeah.
at Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah.
I mean, they got jokes in there that a kid's not, and I did. As a kid, I didn't get it, but as an adult, I knew it was something funny.
Yeah.
But
Right.
you
Here's
can
a link
appreciate.
to last night's show, Mike Walters. You guys want to catch that
Sure.
episode? Here it is right here. So thanks. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and store that in my queue over
Yeah.
here.
It's weird. I was reading women's parts.
Thanks, Mike.
When Mike does, I notice when Mike does women's parts, he has to like breathe in, like he has to get into the part. He's like, and this one I just go
Oh, yeah.
snap at it. I sound like
Well, that's kind of like a
chef or
poor
whatever,
man's
you
cosplay.
yeah, it's poor man's cosplay. So. I guess he was
Kinda
glad I
read
was
the-
on there reading
read the
the
word
ladies' parts, which is kind of funny.
And the sound effects.
You know.
This damn boom.
Just do the old smoker voice, like a New York
Yeah,
accent.
That's what I did. That's
What are you doing today? Something like that.
I got a picture for you.
Yeah.
There were a few actresses that had voices like that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Why can't you find a nice girl?
I'll sound like I'm 65, smoking until my lungs pop out. Yeah.
So
Get
how
on
long
me,
do you
Agnes.
think you've been working on this, Dan? How many years?
The book or the GodFoe universe?
Well, I mean, just kind of the whole
Okay.
thing. Chloe,
The GodFoe universe about 10 years. I wrote the novel over about 8 years. That was the first. Yeah. Well, I wasn't in a real rush.
right.
So that was like I said, 90,000 words, which is basic. Making albums, but I went to college, got married, had 2 kids in that time.
Right.
Like I said, 2020 was really when we cracked down, wrote the script for this. This is actually the second that like I said, we wrote Biofile Colga. That was 12 issues. And we had written it all out. We scripted out 100. And we just didn't feel like that was the best place to start the world. Like, well, let's start with Apollyon. It's more like X-Men in 1984, and it takes place near our time. So then we did that one, and
All right.
yeah, so I'd say about 2 years on this book, but maybe a year to get it done. Like Josh is a magnificent artist. Like I said, he gets. Because I know the guy at Iconic, Tim Lynn, put his page rate's ridiculous when he puts out, and Josh has tried to match that. So like 1, 2, 3 pages a day.
Oh,
Like
shit.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
crap!
He quit his job to do this.
Somebody behind the scenes
Oh
tell
wow,
me,
that's
if
dedication.
you're not doing like at least a page every 3 days,
Mhm.
you're not serious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the industry standard.
Yeah.
Like, or yeah.
And I know
I
one
don't-
other artist that, Preston. I think Preston Acevedo said, that he does like, so it's public knowledge over there on Topic List. He said, I do about 5 pages a week.
Wow.
I'm like,
Right.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like, how do you? I'm not trying to segue here, but you guys have just overwhelmed me with your knowledge of other creators. Like, what's this community like? Because, like I said, I was in music for so long, and I'm such an introvert, and we kind of we're very standoffish because of the kind of stuff we have seen. But and when we find like a breath of fresh air like this, it's great.
Oh yeah.
Like, where do we even start with all this? Like, how do you-
Well, we'll put you in the right direction.
Yeah.
I dropped a couple of links in the
Yeah.
private chat that you can check out. But yeah, there's non-drama. If you want
Yeah.
non-drama out there.
Well, mainly
Oh.
go Comicsgate, stuff like that, CG or independent
Oh yeah.
people.
Wearing one of the shirts.
Well, we are.
There you go.
CG like Comicsgate. It's not. I swear how the left think we're racist.
And I know that doesn't have the best reputation with some people.
I know.
But,
But you know what? It's they love indie creators who are honest,
Yeah.
customer service. And you put out a great product. That's what I think Comicsgate means. in my-
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we're kind of aware of the peripheral stuff, but we just don't care.
Right.
Like, it's so hard to
Right.
care about problems that aren't yours. Like, let's just be honest. Like, the news always tells you to care about things 10,000 miles away. Like, I don't care.
Right.
I want to know what I'm eating for lunch today.
Guys, it's only comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you guys, there's war in the Middle East.
Well, like
Okay.
well, like you said, Dan, you had a kind of a real life moment when your brother
Yeah.
committed suicide for whatever reasons he had, and there are larger issues.
Yeah.
Like most of my family died off last year, COVID and different
Yeah.
things related, and then, but I mean, God's got a way of restoring. My half sister contacted me that because I'm adopted, and I'd never, so I've got another side
Yeah.
that's actually blood related that
That's
I don't
great.
even that I'm just discovering. So
Well,
I mean, life's all about change.
yeah, right. Because I appreciate it. We likewise, man. I mean, my brother was like the probably the biggest one, other than my wife's dad. But between 2020 and 2023, we lost like 7 people, and it was majority on her side. She lost 3 cousins to fentanyl. They were all brothers. None of them had reached 30 yet.
Wow.
Her dad, her grandma, and I think another aunt. And then my dad. I lost my dad in March of this year. And it makes you stop and think, and I appreciate that. It makes you think, like, not only like what's important, because you're like, man, I can't do this like 40-hour anymore away from my family. Like,
Yeah.
it's not worth it. Like, people used to work on farms together, and so you'd see each other. It's not
Yeah.
Right.
like, I don't know. We've fought tooth and
You
nail.
have to sow into your family, or
Yeah.
you'll reap some disobedience later.
Yeah,
Sure,
or just they won't know you.
Yeah,
and-
right.
Yeah, and that's my biggest fear.
Everything's vying for your time as an
Yeah.
adult as well as a child.
We live in a society. We live in a society that destroys the family, and it does it passively. Even like it's got you at work for 40 hours. It's got your kids at school 45 hours. It's
Well, I don't know
Yeah.
what's informed you, Dan. You seem like a very intelligent guy and really very learned for your age. That you have kind of a good worldview, that well-rounded worldview, and got your priorities straight.
well, I mean, on the personal side, I'm a devout Christian, and I don't.
Okay.
I don't push that on people, but I think if you're gonna start with anything,
Well,
you
my
just
last
want to be.
name is Christian, and people would go, "Oh, you were born a Christian." No,
Yeah.
I was adopted. So I said, "No, but by the grace of God, I am one."
Yeah, there's a lot of theology wrapped up in just that sentence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
but I would encourage.
My
Yeah.
name means King, handsome, anointed one of Christ. So, I couldn't escape it. God.
I have to tip my hat to you for that.
I just found out this year that my father was a drug dealer and actually got my mother on like cocaine and heroin and stuff like that. But,
Yeah.
while I was in the womb. So maybe that's why I'm
Jeez.
so what I am. But, but he took me out of that situation and put me in a good Christian home. And, the rest is history, so I'm
Yeah.
very, I'm blessed, and I know it, and
Oh, yeah.
Christ does make a difference,
Yeah.
Wow.
And even from a philosophical or writer standpoint, like the Holy Bible, read the whole thing. Like that's going to make you a good writer if you read that whole thing.
Yeah.
It's got every story archetype ever in it. Like that.
And-
that's
and-
a
and
college
try
course
the-
right there.
Try the thee, thou, whetherfore ye, because
Yeah.
that old English, if you can, kind of wrap your head around a lot of that, it's meant to be memorized.
Yeah.
It's so eloquently written.
Yeah.
It sticks with you.
Yeah. It was an oral tradition before. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you would love talking to Josh, man. He actually is learned in theology. I just read a lot, but I'm.
Well,
I didn't take any classes.
A decade ago or so, or
Next
even
life,
less,
life
I
effects, sorry.
went back to college and studied theology for a long time. From a Hebraic standpoint.
Yeah.
Aramaic, Hebraic, the roots. Going through the Greek.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's the answers are there if you care to. The problem is we don't find time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how would you say that you're becoming a father has kind of informed your life? That's a life-changing event for the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna say this because it's the first thing that came to my head. I got a whole lot angrier with the state of the world.
Yeah. You need to leave your
Oh,
kids
yeah.
in a better
Yeah.
place, right?
Yeah, and I like I said, that's when I kind of started realizing. I realized a lot of things. Like I said, especially my father died, and I had a child, and we had a child this year, so both of those things happened. You start realizing, did I know my family the way that I wanted to? And then you start looking around, and like I said, you see the patterns of everything is designed to destroy this. Everything. Yeah, and I don't, whether intentional or not, whether anyone's spiritual or not, religious or not. I mean, that's just a fact. When you see the results that says there's motive, you know what I mean? So that's the biggest change for me. Is like I am fiercely protective of my family, not just in. I own guns, of course.
Protect yourself. Second Amendment rights, man.
Yeah, and we're in a very very loose law state, so that's great.
Where are you at now?
South Carolina.
South Carolina, okay.
South Carolina. Yeah, so we fiercely protective also of my time, and that's I don't know. I've just been viscerally angry at everything that takes time, and it's like no, like I'm not gonna waste time away from my family over something that could be an email or something that's stupid.
Age really is just then starting to think about that. I mean,
Yeah.
at my age, if I put my nose to the grindstone, I might have 30 years or less
Yeah,
to accomplish what I want to in comics.
yeah. That's a long time though.
It is.
Yeah.
But I mean, here today, you
flies.
could be gone later today,
Yeah.
not even
That's
gone
right.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, we're finding that out, right? Especially when. But at least did your father live long enough to see the newborn?
He did not.
He did not. Okay.
No,
He knew your first one, I guess.
yeah, he passed at 65 from early onset dementia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. You didn't ever really hear about dementia or Alzheimer's or anything like that back in the day. I think a lot of it's like drinking out of aluminum cans and stuff like that.
Lead
that affect our brains.
Yeah, I really think, not to get off into the woods, I don't want to drag people into my personal stuff, but I think it was his lifestyle that did it. I think it was. I mean, he was a farmer when he grew up. He went to college.
My whole family's farming, and I said, no, that's not for me. That's an easier way to live.
It was farming, and his dad was a carpenter, and his dad dropped him off at a boarding school up here and said, "Mark, you're not cut out to be a carpenter, so you better learn something else." And he became a pastor. Didn't want to be, but he felt that was actually a divine calling, and he's like, well, I can't say no to it, even though. But long story short, he was a big guy. He was in logging before that as a kid. He was in carpentry.
Wow, that's a hard job.
He was a correctional officer for several years. He was a Pentecostal preacher, but with the last 30 years of his life, he was head of administrative head of an alternative school, which is the halfway school between high school and prison. So he dealt with the kids nobody wanted to, but it was a sedentary job, and that's when because I remember when he got it, I saw him. He was big. He went from he just slowly 20, 30 years sitting down, I think is what did it. Yeah. To circle back around, I think that kind of lifestyle, and that's what's messed me up. I've spent 3 years now in IT, and I mean, you can feel it sitting down all day. It kills you. It destroys you.
Got to move around. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like my friend Elsie that lives over in Tennessee. His father was just dropped off at the college here, and he became a teacher and pastor, and he was just kind of dropped off in college, and that's what Elsie later did. That's how we met back in '85. Is he was over there at Memphis State, and this one guy was just one instructor was not going to give him a passing grade, and so he said, well, I guess why don't you go over to ASU where I went, and kind of got dropped off there, and the rest is history. And he taught himself for 31 years. So
oh wow.
But yeah, I mean, you either did or die back in the day. You
Well,
didn't have kind of a safety net.
no, and that's something that we've thought about on our end a lot because we did like one convention at a local place in Florence, South Carolina, and we just learned a lot and saw a lot that the motto we have internally is like the average man is the average fan because so much, so especially corporations, they treat you either like you're a child or they think that they and their group that they're pitching to are so much more intelligent than everybody else.
Yeah.
The average person, I know there's that joke of the internet that people are dumb or whatever, but the average person is pretty smart and
Yeah.
capable of ridiculous feats. I mean, like you said, like guys that they grew up on farms around mud can be scholars instantly. And you can go back through college. I mean, not college. You can go back through history and like the Scottish, the Renaissance kind of proved that. Like, hey, these guys had always been oppressed, had always been slaves, and like suddenly out of nowhere, they adopt like the English culture view of education, and they're leading education in like 50 years.
Or Japanese, look how
Yeah.
they adapted after World War II to like our pretty much the Constitution and everything.
Yeah, the average person can do amazing things.
And
Yeah.
children
Yeah.
are resilient. I mean, they're so much more sophisticated than we were. I mean, people Brett and my age are probably like, we were poor, but we didn't know we were poor.
Yeah,
If you grew up that way,
Yeah.
Shadowhawk is a
we made the
question.
most of it. Yes,
Are
we
you-
are
Okay.
nice.
on both counts. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Average person is mostly ignored, so of course they are capable of anything. Yeah. Timmy's on a roll.
Yeah. Now, Shadow. I was kicked off YouTube for a week. Doing
Oh, why?
Showing the Bible,
Really?
the movie
Yeah.
John Huston's The Bible, 1966, with George C.
I'm
Scott,
so sorry.
John Huston, Ava Gardner. Yeah, I should have asked permission to use the content. I just thought it was up on YouTube. Anyway, I'll be streaming again Monday. We're over on Shadowhawks all this week. We will be doing Shadowhawk. We will be doing our
You're
Bible study over on Smoke and Wraith's channel, though. He's going to do that for us.
See, you dropped like 3 names all at once. I've got to know these people. They all sound cool.
Oh yeah. We'll hook you up. We'll get you in the know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm just so impressed by both of y'all's background. Like I've got all of, like my wife's crap back here,
Yeah.
and she's like, yeah.
It's a bisexual lighting. Huh?
That's the second time in like this week I've gotten that joke, and I was like, well, I'm halfway there, so.
This is what I grew up on. I
Oh yeah,
look
go
at it as
Space Ghost.
the golden
yeah,
age
Barbera.
of really the golden age of animation to me.
Yeah.
It's by today's standards, it might not be that good.
What about Wacky Racers?
Oh, Wacky Racers, yeah. Now that's a little
Oh.
later than the 70s.
That's
Tara.
Tara.
These are actually
Yeah.
model sheets for the Herculoids.
Oh wow,
they're not-
Xander.
They're reprints, but they're they're Alex Toth designs. There we go, in color.
Herculoids. I love that.
One of the best
I did-
cartoons, I think.
I used to get confused because I thought Captain Caveman was part of them when I was a little kid.
Captain Cave.
Yeah.
I actually have a Captain Caveman right there
Where is it?
by that Doctor
Yeah.
Who book. Right.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Look at that. That's really cool.
There we go.
Ah,
Dude.
Igu.
Igu. Yeah.
Big ass
The
fist.
Rock Ape.
Yeah.
There we go. Tundra.
Yep, because he could shoot things out of his horn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somewhere I have a
gotta rewatch that
Dorno. I have an actual drawing from Herculoid. A sail.
Yeah.
It's a drawing from the actual
Normo. Yeah.
67 cartoon or whatever.
Back when they drew men with actual like manly features, like
Yeah.
like jaws and stuff.
Exactly.
Yep.
Structural line.
Yep.
They could take a punch.
They can, yeah. See,
What
2018, yeah.
what movies have been interesting to you, or you probably rarely get out to the movies anymore, but
The last movie I got out to was Black Adam, And I'm gonna be honest. I absolutely loved that movie.
Did you?
Okay.
It was 2 hours of people, big guys hitting each other in the air.
Right.
And I loved Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. I thought he did a fantastic job. I loved, of course, Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. I didn't mind The Rock as
Yeah.
the Rock playing Black Adam.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, the movies I try to watch, I've got a whole collection over here I need to get back into. I've been watching a ton of German expressionists, black and white, starting with Metropolis and going back and going forward. I mean,
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu, and that's the kind of stuff we like in our art. Josh and I talked about is
Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Caligari.
Yeah.
Is so many movies now are trying to be super realistic. So much art is trying to get rid of the art in art. Like, I like the exaggerated features. I like the weird, like the stiff movements. I think that stuff's great, man. They just
most people your age don't like that. I mean, they're like, oh, that's so old. And some of that you're describing is like 100 years old almost.
Well, I'm just a nerd, man. Like, I've got all these books back here.
No, absolutely.
The main thing I've been into is books. I've got a stack of them over there, nonfiction and half fiction.
See that?
Let me grab some.
Yeah.
Well, my 3-year-old, we're going through The Hobbit and Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Oh, that's cool.
Right.
King and I, and I mean not the King and I, but the what's the
Anna and the King.
Oh, Rex has some artwork. Look at that. You got different artwork here? Oh, you just show
me? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm just kind of organizing it here.
Cool. I got to do that.
I was going to show him how Ryan.
Yeah, go ahead. Look at that.
Oh.
Like he had the pencils on one side, and then he light boxes it and flips it.
Oh, nice.
That's the ink,
Shadowhawk, I did like The Lighthouse. I thought it was just esoteric enough. I like how so many things went unanswered. I like that director. I loved The Witch. Like, The Witch is that's what I should have said when you were discussing horror movies. Yeah, The Lighthouse. Yeah.
There it is.
You just happen to have it on draft. I loved The Witch. That's one of the last horror movies I ever saw that made me feel like I was watching something I shouldn't watch.
Oh, look at that.
That is fantastic.
What's your characters?
Well, that's one half of this wraparound cover here.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Half there.
Oh, yeah, I remember him drawing.
That is great.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then it'll go together like this is the front cover there.
Yeah.
This is to issue 6, so I'm looking down the road, brother.
This is a wraparound?
It's wraparound, yeah.
That's another
I may even extend it.
You should. That's another comic I meant to mention that reminded me of Kabuki. I was a big fan of Kabuki in the 90s.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. But books, we're going through 1984.
What do you about, manga is this and
Oh, I love anime. And I grew up whenever anime was kind of hard to find, and it made it cooler. But my favorite anime of all time was Evangelion, Neon Genesis Evangelion, and if you haven't seen it, it's amazing. Manga, I do like manga. I couldn't get into the art enough because you grow up with Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee. Except
Ron Byrne looks
except like Otomo, the guy who did Akira. If you haven't seen or read Akira,
I love Akira.
Yeah, that guy changed everything, even for Western guys. So yeah, but
Tank Fair's been doing some artwork for me.
That's fantastic.
This is going to be on the back cover of my next book.
Tank drew it.
Oh, yeah. Is my mic too loud, Tank? I'll turn it down, man.
Yeah,
sorry about that. Usually it's too low.
And then
just tell me to shut up. It's fine.
There's also a couple other pieces here that he did earlier. Let me show those to you. Those will be coming down the line eventually. Here's 2 Ton.
Oh, nice.
2 Ton
that he did. And his commissions are open now, I think. And then here's a speedster that he did for me.
Well, Tank, I'm going to add you on Twitter, man.
That's your female speedster. Oh, she got a nice.
Yeah, she's a villainess. She's What I'm going to do is a collage cover, wrap
Okay.
around collage cover.
Oh,
Going to
Tank, we
do
are
two
following
of
each
them,
other.
one full of villains
Yeah,
and
but
one
she's
full of heroes for like my character book.
better thing.
Yeah.
Turn up just a bit, says Tank. Okay.
Hey,
I actually
sounds-
turned mine down because both you
a-
guys are blowing me
Does
out.
that sound okay? I'm not overwhelming.
a female speedster is a
actually
great
did.
idea
I've been
because there's not enough villain speedsters. I mean, you've got
Yeah,
Reverse
right.
Flash and all that, but
Right.
speedsters are always awesome,
Yeah.
and especially as a villain, that's a great idea.
Well, the story with that is that there was
All right.
43 Nazis that they thought they were doing an experiment, right, in World War
Mhm.
II at the end of the war, and they appeared to be disintegrated. So they just go on like, oh, it's a failure. Well, what it did is it sort of almost acted like a Star Trek transporter,
Mm,
but it transported them through time. So some of them show up in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, pop up, maybe 1,000 years later. I don't know. They just pop up wherever. So, and they have different powers,
yeah, that's a really cool idea. My brain just made a bunch of jokes I can't say on
Well,
YouTube.
I needed, it's kind of like these 43 characters
hmm
have the same origin. So you don't
Yeah.
have to tell an origin story with these guys all the time.
Yeah,
I thought, how can I get a bunch of characters, villains, because I'm a little shy on the villain side, right?
yeah,
Although I have a bunch of villains, as far as heroes, I have less villains and I have less women, so I had to work on the women and the villains.
I've got a
And
lot
I
of
thought, how can I do that? And that was kind of how I did that.
Yeah.
Was put a lot of characters with the same origin, right? Kind of
that's
like
cool.
if 400 went up in a space shuttle and cosmic rays, and then
Wow,
instead of Fantastic Four, you got the Fantastic 400.
Yeah,
No need
Yeah.
to tell different stories for the origin. Just have one origin, and that them being pulled apart and put back together, they're psychotic.
yeah.
They were hardcore Nazis to begin with, but now they're psychotic Nazis.
Oh, they're like the far left.
So they're the worst of the worst. But they will kill
No,
you.
hey, Brett, that's a whole time we can get into.
I know, right? Except for gain and volume, turn it down to gain. That's
Yeah, he has been coming in hot. I just turned mine
Okay.
down.
All right, how is that now?
So,
I'm one of these people that just
Is
kinda
that
adjust
is that
on
better?
Mike is still popping. Are you sure?
I don't know, man.
It's
How about now?
Perfect.
Sound pretty smooth. I didn't hear him popping,
Every-
but he has
No.
been a little loud since the
Yeah, a
beginning.
little bit.
Every other
Like,
podcast
hi,
I
my
go on-
name's Dan. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
right.
Oh, shit.
Every other podcast I go on says that
GodFoe.
they can't hear me, so that's really weird.
Yeah, I love to pull that prank on. Like, can you hear me now? No, I
Can
think
you
you're
hear me?
muted.
Can you hear me?
And you're really not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're
muted.
I love pulling that
What?
on people, especially
Yeah.
when they're drunk.
It'd
It's
be
like,
funny if
perfect,
Tank,
that's better
Tank just
now.
leaves.
He's
Tank's
here.
like perfect and just
Stop.
bails.
This
Tank
can never
might
be
be drunk.
perfect
I
for
don't know.
Tank.
He's a big family guy too. I think
He
he's got.
is,
What do
yeah.
you got, Tank? You got 6 kids?
You got a lot of kids. I think.
He's got 4 at least. I think he's
You
got
should
6.
call him.
Yeah, is it 4 or 6 kids, Tank?
You lose count after a while after the half
Knock it
dozen.
down. Oh,
Mark.
good.
You should
Knock
call
it
him
down.
Sperm Tank.
Sperm
Sperm
Tank. Sperm Tank Ferret.
He said that. I didn't take.
I
Love
actually
you,
have a-
love
What's
bug.
funny is I actually scheduled a
Ah,
vasectomy
yeah.
this week, so that's really funny.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm
That
just
goes for
saying.
another
I
comic
didn't
book
say.
story.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So what's the
Yeah,
most
sure.
challenge? I mean, I'm trying to do a universe. Kind of Apex is trying to do a
Yes,
universe.
6. Oh,
You're trying to build your own universe. What's kind of the most challenging thing?
good night,
Building
show.
your own universe, you think?
I need more artists. We've
Yeah.
got the stories. We
Well,
got
Yeah.
the stories.
you can hire me if you want.
Yeah, gladly. Let me get some money first.
I need some money.
Shameless
Yeah.
plug. You can hire me.
You hire me.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
night,
if
Joe.
somebody said you can hire me to draw or write, I'd say, man, look, I'm too busy trying to, do my own thing.
I get it. Well, yeah, I go. I do things on the side too.
Yeah.
Just
The way I look at it is I can't support every project, but I can support at least some artists that want to
receptions.
do
Yeah.
comic
Oh, yeah.
work the full time, and plus get something out of it myself.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
to see my characters come to
Oh,
life.
And ideally, we'd love to go direct and just sell everything from our site.
no.
Mhm.
But the one of the main reasons we did
DVD.
crowdfunding was for this, like, was to try to meet people
I
because
do.
we don't know
Yeah.
anybody, you
Okay.
know.
Right. Yeah. Well, I totally agree with John Malin. You need to build your channel for about 2 years.
Yeah.
You definitely do because you take it for granted. Like when I launched the Ash Can, um, had a very, about a month and a half sign up, launched it over on Apex's channel, closed it out on Apex's channel. But, I go in other chats on different things like Michael Bancroft show,
That's cool.
and they go sign, some people in the
Yeah.
chat that had wrenches would say, yeah, go sign up for Devil Flyer. And I'm like, no, bro, the campaign's over and it's in demand. Oh,
Yeah.
well, go back. You just expect these people to know, but they don't know.
No,
A
they
lot of
don't.
people
You just
don't
gotta
know. You
remind them.
just think you're getting out there all the time. And
No.
Yeah.
no, there's a lot of people
There's
don't
a
know
little
what's going
blip
on in
on
your
the big
world.
YouTube universe widespreading.
Well, that's the thing is we won't when we do see people and we do get a chance to talk to people, which we greatly appreciate it. Thank you again. We want
Yeah.
everyone to know you're backing something that is going to be like, first of all, all we're doing now
Okay.
is line
See
editing.
PBR.
Whenever the campaign ends, everything we do, the book's done. It's
See
ready to
PBR.
go. It's getting made,
PBR.
and we're doing this for
Yeah.
like until we die. This isn't contingent. We're not feeling out the market. I've always
Right.
hated that about
Yeah.
starting in music, and now it's just like fill it
Mhm.
out, see what sells. No,
Mm.
I look at this whole thing as a shotgun blast. It's
You're
all
right.
over the place. You've got some people that are in for different reasons besides
Mhm.
just making books, or they want the books plus they want the drama. They want the
yeah,
whole enchilada. And the thing of it is to
that
compare
rhymed.
yourself, maybe a nobody, to a professional that's been doing it for years and years and years before
Mhm.
they even hit the YouTube scene is kind of disingenuous for one
Yeah.
thing. And it's
Yeah.
look, man, the pie's out there if you can capture the market, but capturing lightning in the market, the next big thing is harder than you know. If
Oh
everybody
yeah.
could do it, everybody would be doing it. It'd
Oh
be
yeah.
commonplace.
That'd
You
be
know?
too many damn books.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
Really?
yeah.
I'll have
And
fun.
and you're right.
Be like
A lot of
DC.
people don't do a follow up. They'll do one book, but they won't do a follow up. Or
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
or something might have went wrong with the first campaign. Maybe it lagged a little bit, or they didn't
Mhm.
inform people. Some people they made some wrong moves. You know. So,
I just
but
love
I mean, I look at it as there's people here for all different kinds of reasons. You know,
That's right.
the
but
chicks.
you've got people that have never read a comic book in their life that are considering buying their first comic book. That's
Yeah.
exciting to me.
That
It
is, and especially the indie idea because I mean, you can do anything indie. That's what's so exciting about it. Like it's the Wild West, man. Like
It
I
is
know,
the Wild West. That's why I say it's all the way. It's all
yeah,
over the place. You got people. You got the dime store hustlers. You got the true, you know, nose to the plow grindstone guys. You got the professionals that have, make it look easy, and it's
yeah,
not. I
Oh
mean,
God, it's
if
hard
it
work.
were easy, I would have already done it.
I would have
yeah.
At
done like
least
30
Apex,
issues.
at least Apex did small runs on his comics and stuff.
Yeah.
The most I did was like world build and make homemade comics.
yeah.
You know,
Well,
That's how you start out, just
Yeah.
homemade comics. That's what comes from. I used to do comic strips from the newspaper and make up my own comic strips.
Mhm.
Then I evolved to comics. And
You're like, this
went
is
from
way
there.
funnier than Doonesbury.
Yeah, it's way funnier.
Well,
Tim
Brad, I
Spur.
meant to ask you, man. Like, how are you? What do you? How many like titles are you running with Apex? Like, what all you got going?
The very first one I have, Executor Femme Fatale #1. It's a flip book.
Yeah.
I have 16 pages.
that was back in the
Print it out.
90s when flip books were a big thing.
1996 to be exact. Yeah, this is the only print that I have.
Only
I made
copy,
only
so he's got to pull it out
45
every time and finger the hell out of it. It used to be a near mint
Yeah, look at it.
a year ago.
Okay, let me go.
looks
widen my
great.
screen a
Black
bit.
sensitive cover.
Only 45 of these were made. 45 of them.
Wow. Low
Executor,
print.
one
That's
side,
awesome.
femme fatale. I did
He
all
never going to
the
get rid
writing,
of it.
all the
So.
artwork.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm doing a reprint sometime next year, but it starts out with the Executor.
That'll be cool.
Little
I'd love to read
synopsis.
the Executioner.
Yeah, Executor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Executor. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Goes
awesome.
from
Yeah,
there.
see?
Different. Yeah,
Yeah, see?
I'll have like even a little editorial thing. What was it? No, it's in there. Yeah, yeah. I had even included an editorial. You know,
Mm-hmm.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
forum. I had a forum on here.
You
An
feel
old
like
address.
Brett's soapbox.
Yes, my soapbox. Can't throw a soapbox. You get the femme fatale.
That's awesome. I like that big
Thanks.
big cover right there.
Yeah, you get the 2-page spread. I do a Jack Kirby
That's
thing.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the
Well,
very first
oh.
one. Then I evolved from that to issue 2. I have more copies of issue 2, of course, of the flip book. Then I went to the Mattermax and Nikolai Star 98, and then
Little
after that,
mini books.
yeah,
That's
and some
cool.
ash cans. I did
Yeah.
Succubus
And
of
even with a
Liberty.
wraparound cover.
Yeah,
That's
wraparound
really cool.
cover of Nikolai Star. Look at it. Oh, hold up again. Yeah, hold up.
Tell you what, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
great.
I mean, you can read them. I mean, but I do get some
Yeah.
help, you know.
Yeah, with the magnifying glass.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, the
I started out with postcards. I mean, I just released like a couple of
Oh, let's look at
postcards
this. Look at this.
for on New
that's cool.
Year's.
Oh, I like that.
This was the second one. There was only 50 of these done.
Whoa.
I'll be offering some of these on the campaign
Oh,
probably.
cool.
The other one was this was scratch art. You know what
Oh.
scratch art is? You know,
Oh, yeah.
black and then you scratch it away
Yeah.
That was
and do
one
a
of my
reveal. These
that
were
was one of my
scratch art,
favorite
art
things
pieces I
did
did. I just
in
kind of reversed
kindergarten.
that in the computer,
Oh, there you go.
We
and then here was the
we
first one there.
we made those when I
Oh.
was in like kindergarten or first or second grade. Like,
Mhm.
and
I
it
still
was
do.
it was one of the only lessons in school in general that stuck with me forever. And we do it like with my
Mhm.
daughter now.
It's kind of
Yeah,
like
I
etching,
loved
you
it.
know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
good at it, but I loved it. Like seeing it. It was like magic when you're a little kid. Like you
Well, the
scratch it
thing
away,
of
there's
it
all these
is,
colors.
you don't have an eraser. You had to.
Yeah.
No, you
I was
don't.
trying to train myself to be deliberate with what I wanted to put down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, DVB says for real though. I've been working on music and glasswork, and especially with glasswork, I've had this mindset for years. What can I sell that people will like and buy?
Yeah, because
Sometimes
he does glass
glass
blowing.
blowing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really cool.
That's a cool. That's a cool
It is.
art.
Ah,
The chat's been doing they've been talking. I think it started with DVB
Cool.
up here. He said I had a realization
let's
last
do
night
this ash
regarding
can.
art and
Nice.
artwork. The absolute most important thing, the number one rule, is make something that you personally care about, something that means something to you. Yeah, like that's
Mhm.
you gotta. Yeah, you're right. Word Wizard, Captain Infinity. You gotta have passion for your project. It's the only thing that gets you through like the low times
Yes.
when you don't
Uh-huh.
want to work on it. You know.
Right.
Cool.
Right. Well, I mean, it's like a movie that you have to see again and again and again to edit it, to do it. You see it so many times. Sometimes you lose interest. I think a lot of people do, and then they're like, never finish the project. So, and if you never finish the project, and then I like that you're committed to getting it out to the local comic book shops,
That's
though,
cool.
Dan.
We have 3 signed up so far. We're trying to get 5 by the end of the year.
Let's
Oh.
have we got time, Apex, to bring the
Yeah.
campaign back
Yeah,
up
let's do it.
and show that off a
Yeah.
little better?
Let's do it.
The different tiers, add-ons, whatever.
Let me go ahead and hold on. Let me get to this one. Oh, not yet. Let me put it up there first.
You know, the way I look at it, Dan, is you could write the best story, have the best artist that money could buy, and if people don't know about it, they
Yep.
can't buy it.
Yep.
You know, so that's part of shilling it, going on shows like this, convincing others, showing people your villain, your vision. And one thing is, you put your face up. A lot of people just do this and put their icon up.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Okay. But really, I think putting a face with the project helps as well. And you're willing to do that.
You're
even
just
though
on
you're kind of
Indiegogo,
like
right?
an introvert.
That's right. Yeah, Indigo. And
Okay.
what started that was we used to kind of do no faces, but we're like, man, if you're gonna, especially in today's climate, if you're gonna say something and mean it, you got to have a face.
Yeah,
Right.
you do.
Yeah.
You can't hide and be anonymous. It's not worth
Yeah.
hmm
Show yourself. Oh
You're gonna make me
God, where
start.
is it?
You're gonna make me start quoting like the Street Fighter live action movie.
Yeah, you could. You better watch out. Okay, I'm trying to find this. Hold on.
And while he does that, I'll show you my X-Men pop-up book, huh?
Oh,
Nice.
cool. Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, that is awesome.
Here it
That's
is.
cool.
Okay, I find the. Here it is.
Never have downtime. You know, just always have
Here it
something
is.
interesting to show.
Let's put.
Man,
Oh
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Ooh, let's see that. Oh shit! Look at that. Oh, where'd you get that one?
Oh, at Walmart years ago.
Holy mackerel!
Yeah,
Wow, that's gotta be
yeah. I mean, look at the cut
pricey.
of that.
Yeah.
It's a weird
God,
cut.
Lord, that's wild.
Yeah. They came out
Yeah.
with a few of these, not just X-Men, but
Spider-Man, maybe.
I
Avengers.
can't remember exactly, but yeah, they're pretty awesome. They're kind of hard to keep in good shape, though. You know,
I'm sure they are. I'll share screen. Let me find it. Where is it? Here it is, right here. Let's share it. Boom. Let's get this campaign rolling.
boom.
See if anyone has supported. If you would, give Dan some support tonight, the next week, the
guys.
week after
I'd love
that.
Hey, Doc.
He's trying to reach 1,500. I would say, Dan, add some more things to your tier so you can reach up to that
Doc
goal.
Blaylock, he's one of my artists as well.
But at the link, I think I put the link in the chat earlier, but I'll go find
Go
it.
sign up
again.
for a damn dirty thing.
Yeah, damn, did thing.
Here's one of the pages he's proud of from
Look at
a story that'll be in my next book coming out.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
awesome.
that's
That's
cool.
cool.
Deals with the clown killer. Again, like I kind of storyboarded out loose
Yeah.
and then give pretty free reign to the different artists, you know,
That's
Yeah.
great.
within the confines.
Hey, Doc,
of the story.
it's here. Get some
The-
pointers. There's got to be a point. There is a masterpiece that you know is a masterpiece simply because you know is your absolute best work that you are capable of at the time. Oh yeah.
Right, yeah, and
Make
and,
something-
and that's cool too. You know,
Yeah.
that's one thing that I liked about comics, Dan. I don't know about you, but when I read, seeing an early George Perez, and then he just gets better and better and better. You kind of grow up with these
Absolutely.
art styles changing, and usually going for the better. Every now and then,
Man, it's
depending on who inks
color.
or whatever, usually they level up, and just kind of growing up with those artists, leveling up all the time.
yeah.
The inkers
Yeah.
gets better and better as the projects come by.
Well, you got the Apollyon 20XX physical for 25. Perkins single physical paperback of Apollyon 20XX live, not by lies. A digital
Live not by
copy.
lies.
And
Live,
did
not-
you
that's right.
and
Live, not by lies. Yeah.
what's the page count on this again?
175 pages.
175.
175, and you can get it for $25.
That's
Awesome.
right.
What a great
Come
deal,
on,
man.
folks.
If you
It's
want
a
to go digital,
no-brainer.
It's Ashcan Digital Lamentations, Revelations, and a digital book. And you get two physical copies for $40. Save $10. And yeah,
And it's $5 flat shipping.
that's great. So it's like
Yep.
45 for two. It'd be a good Christmas
Comics
gift.
don't have to cost you an arm and a leg in your firstborn.
Live not by lies. Yeah.
Where is there a Cliff Notes version available? Yeah, read anything by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. That's the Cliff
Yeah.
Notes version.
I get
All
it,
right.
Tank. Yeah, that's good. I was just wondering how you were doing, brother.
I just turned off social media a few days. Yeah, no kidding. You got to focus on your work.
He's working on I don't know what he's working on, but he's supposed to be working on a Western character
wow,
called
that's
Midnight for me.
Ooh,
It'd be great to get more westerns. Like that's the whole thing that kind of got dropped off. Like we really need to
Bronze
get more
Star.
westerns.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Wraith of God by Aaron Lepresti. There's some out
there's
there.
Bronze Star by Mike
Bronze
Barron
Star,
and
Mike
Pat
Barron,
Broderick.
and Pat
I know,
Broderick, and they're coming out
yeah.
with Bronze Star too.
I know
Fun My Comics here pretty soon.
Razor Fist and George Alexopoulos are putting out one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and he likes Razor Fist likes the pulps, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah, he's a big Shadow fan.
He goes
so-
way back with the pulp.
The Brothers
entertainment.
Karamazov is the last century.
Right.
Well, I
Dragon
wasn't there
Forest.
for it, but I can remember reading,
Wasn't
the
that? But
early
that was
Batman.
that was Dostoevsky though, wasn't it?
I think it was. Yeah.
You got me, Word
Bat
Wizard. That's funny.
Batman used to carry a gun early on.
Yep.
He would shoot
Yeah.
the villains dead,
Yeah.
What?
just
Now, what
like
he
the
did-
Spider and the Phantom and a lot of those hard boiled.
He thought there were too many villains in the gallery. He had to do away with a few. So
Like Puzzle Man or something like that. If I don't hear about him.
Puzzle Man, he's dead.
Calendar
Killed
Man,
Killed him with a 45.
Calendar Man.
the Spot.
The Spot. Yeah. The bullet hole. He's done.
Oh, I haven't heard of the bullet hole.
The
No, he's
bleeding.
dead now.
I think
Batman
you just
killed
made
him.
that up.
The corpse.
The corpse. He's
Yeah.
dead.
Army corpsman.
Like
Yeah.
Solomon,
That takes me
Solomon
back to
Grundy
the
was
Obama
alive.
years. Oh,
He
boy.
was. He died on
Corpseman.
Sunday.
Word Wizard and anyone else, like if the 175 pages, like just pick up the digital, man. You can read it at your leisure if you don't want like a
Yeah.
whole physical commitment. But I think you'll like it. I will say this: if chapter 1 is like 35 pages, so just suck it up.
Yeah.
The few floppies that I've gotten, the smaller comics that I've gotten, like you would like the spinner rack, that are like a monthly. I didn't read them, okay,
Yeah.
but I bought them, and I really was like, oh, this is all there is, because really some of the independent people are spoiling me with these 64 page, 80 pages. That's going to have 300 pages. I don't know how they do it.
That
It's
looks
all I
really
can
good.
do to put out a 48 pager.
Oh, no doubt.
Day in the life of
Life of
Ivan
Ivan.
Dennis, which is,
It's okay, but it needs more chase scenes.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, more of the communist chase scenes. Yeah.
Yes. Add some more chase scenes finity. Yeah, that'd be great.
I like Word Wizard.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
And you say you have some add-ons to these
Oh yeah,
add-on pop-ups. Yeah.
we have the ash can in digital and physical. It's a beautiful work of art. Like I said, we didn't
Cool.
originally want to make it. We were happy when we did. We were proud that we did. Hold on, I'm adding a Word Wizard on
Oh.
Twitter. I think
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
it.
add him on. It may be, or Captain Finity. Oh, what's your call sign on X Twitter? Captain
God-
Finity.
Yeah,
And you.
I think
Yeah,
I found
okay.
a Word Wizard. Ours is GodFoe_universe.
Okay. Right.
Yep. Call sign. Good job.
Good deal.
We
right.
also have the Lamentations and the Revelations. Like I said, that's an 80 and 50 page, kind of like mixed media art project. I got some examples of it in there as well. Those are, like I said, those are character pages. Those aren't. That's not how the text is going to be laid out. Those are scenes from the book introducing the characters, and we just
Okay.
lay it out like that. The
So
6
this is
page
your
ash can.
yeah, 6-pager right there. All right.
Yep.
And then this one's like, this will be a good poster, I'm thinking. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we actually printed some of those out with Apollyon 20XX in black and white on the side.
Cool.
I got some over there. I might add that on. I just didn't know if people wanted like a black and white poster.
Yeah, you should. You need more tiers on so it could get up to 1,500. I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a page from the ash can.
Okay.
Yep.
The fifth day. All right. Apollyon. This is the Lamentations. Okay.
That's a Revelations cover.
All right. The
Some of it
professor
is
character.
Yeah, some of it is short stories like that. Some of it is like just kind of in-world mixed media.
This reminds me a lot of zines. How the way they did.
Dude,
text.
you want to get into zines? Like that's the kind of stuff that I grew up on. I loved that kind of stuff. I loved that kind of alternative media back in the day.
I have an All Hallows zine right here.
Yeah.
All Hallows zine, the horror stuff.
I even like high fructose, which is like a more corporate art magazine. But man,
Okay.
it used to it was like 60 pages of like the coolest
Kinda
art you
grungy.
could find.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the flannel right now.
Yeah, you are.
You probably grew up loving Nirvana.
And Soundgarden, they were
Yeah,
my
Soundgarden,
favorite of the
yeah.
four. Soundgarden's my favorite of the four. I did
That's
Pantera wasn't grunge, but I loved. I was a guitar player, of course. I loved Pantera.
Right.
Oh yeah, I saw Pantera at Joe's Garage back in 1989. It was a great
Nice.
show. The Bud Light girls were there at the time. It was fun.
Remember when Bud Light was cool? No,
Yes, back in the late 80s. Not anymore. Afraid not.
Yes,
Some
it is.
guy-
It is black and white. The book is
Yeah.
black and white. The next one, Biofile Color, which is a different series, will be all color. But Apollyon 20XX is going to be all black and white.
Oh, I love that when Elon Musk
Yeah.
totally advertises the fuck up. I love that. God bless you, Elon Musk.
When I saw that, I was like, man, we're living in an Ayn Rand novel. This is great.
It is great. We got billionaires just to say F to those woke advertising nonsense. You know, just,
Yeah, what a weird timeline.
It is, man. Nice. There you go. Yeah, get down through your. Yeah, this was part of the Ashcan, and
yeah, those are that's part of the Lamentations, and they're kind of like companion pieces.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a follow us, GodFoe Universe. There it is.
Yep.
Twitter.
And that's an explanation video at the bottom that we've got. Our friend does our lore. We call him Lore Master Hans. And he's doing videos for us to kind of help explain the universe and stuff. That just basically explains what I just spent the last hour and a half talking about. He just does it better.
Well, we talked about some other things in there too, brother. but you know what really frustrates me? I'm on Twitter a lot, and I see, okay, GodFoe Universe, okay, some posting, but they don't give you a link.
I always put a link.
You should always put a link,
you
folks.
gotta have
I don't care if you. I sent one out 3 hours ago with a link. That may not be the one, the posting that they see. You know, I always want a link.
Yeah, you've got to have a link.
You got to have a link with every posting.
Yeah.
Show people, direct people to where, because people won't take the time. You know, they won't take the time to hunt you down. You have to be user friendly.
Yeah, and if you get shadow banned, like Death was shadow banned. Like
I didn't know that. Really?
I mean, it is for me. Every time I search, I have to go to Joe Ball's like Twitter to find it. And I've heard him talk about it. Yeah, I can't find it at all because like I'll search it.
Well, I try and collect those direct links. If anybody wants the death, I have it here somewhere. I can drop it in the chat. He's getting pretty close to getting done with the 300 plus pages.
If your paperwork to put on your script. Yeah, the 175 page, that would be a weighty book to put on your scripts. Grab Tombstone. Yes.
I am just amazed at some of these indie creators that, you know, that will do something like 300 pages.
Yeah.
That's just,
I think it's
that
cool.
takes forever to do, man. I don't know, care how quick you are, you know, that's just amazing.
We have a massive world, and this is the start of it. Now, in this book itself is actually kind of claustrophobic in that it focuses on 6 characters, but we want people to experience something that is truly huge and cool. Like, we want people to be in a world, not just buy a product.
You want them to be immersed in that world and come away wanting more.
Yeah, well, the real world sucks right now. Like,
it does. Yeah. I mean, you know, they're not going to make, the way I look at it, Dan, is they're not going to make the entertainment we want to see. So if we want to see it, we have to make it ourselves.
Right.
Well, and we address a ton of that. Like the whole point of this book is like, you know, there are certain powerful people trying to control the world. And they're doing it through media, they're doing it through social media, and they're doing it through, you know, an alien metal as well. And ideological possession, groupthink, you know, mass possession, that's all addressed in this.
Hive mentality. Yeah.
Great way to
Don't be a sheeple.
There's a Joe Ball's link to Death. You want to check it out, guys.
Nice.
Give him a support there, as well as the GodFoe Universe. Let's see if there's any backers tonight. Yeah, I don't know.
Did we go through all the tiers already?
There's only 4 tiers so far.
There's only 4.
Okay.
You get the digital for 10.
Keep it simple.
If you're like overseas, don't want to pay a bunch of shipping on it.
Just launched. Got like less than 59 days left, so you better get to it. We need to get this thing funded.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it sounds like a good deal to me. 170 pages for $25.
All right.
Come on.
We tried to keep it as low as possible. Again, we like that punk mentality. One reason we didn't like certain publishers that did court us because they wanted to charge ridiculous amounts for everything. It's like, no, that's not right.
Yeah.
No. It's because they want to skim off the top.
Yeah.
But
I see 100 freaking pages. Suppose there's thought bubbles too, right?
Yeah, we don't necessarily do thought bubbles, but there is internal dialogue. I don't think Josh uses bubbles per se, but that's what they are.
I do in mine.
Well, they're a dead thing now.
Yeah,
Like
they
no, like
are.
modern comics, they don't like a lot of Marvel and DC. They don't do thought bubbles
That's why
because
we had to bring it back, Dan.
yeah, because I
We
mean a
can't
lot of
bring
their
back Thought
characters,
Yeah.
a lot of their writers don't think,
They don't
Right.
think. You're
Yeah,
right.
they don't. Yeah.
Don't know how to think. I don't get it.
or the
Well,
editors.
again,
I don't know whose fault it is.
it's hive mentality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
outsourced
You tell
thinking.
me what to think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Regurgitation of the
I am
party
bringing it
line.
back.
Why won't they listen to me every time I try and sell them that swampland in Florida I don't own?
Just don't read my thought balloons.
You know, my bog character that it was, you know, coming up out of the grave, you know,
Should
slamming the
be.
clown.
Yeah.
He's like kind of swamp thing, man thing type of character. Um, he doesn't have a mouth,
Nice.
so he
neither-
has
Can't
to
talk.
speak through low level telepathy through
That's
these
what
sort of
Zero
specially
does.
designed thought balloons.
That's our guy, that main guy there. Zero doesn't have a mouth and has to speak through empathetic bonds. That's a cool thing.
And that's kind of like Charlie Chaplin in the silent movies. How do you
Yeah.
express yourself when you can't see your face?
Yeah.
Spider-Man does it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, there's a
So-
way.
They used
You
to use
just
the
gotta get
eyes really
creative with
well
it.
with Spider-Man.
Huh?
Yeah.
They used to they would change the eye shape with
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man a lot.
Yeah.
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 Oh, you would. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then of course you had Peter Parker. He would eventually take off the mask, you know, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah, expressing your, you know, when you don't have the full facial features to look at, sometimes it's hard to express what, you know, to bring across what the character's looking for. We got another trailer.
So how long is this, Dan?
That is, I think, 2 minutes. But I mean, that's just the welcoming to the GodFoe universe, like Lore Master Hans explaining
Okay.
our universe. Basically, I mean, you could probably play just like the first half because
Do
the
it.
second half
First-
says
do
Apollo
it.
28 seconds.
Do it.
Live from the GodFoe universe,
Oh.
this is Lore Master Hans, coming to you with all things GodFoe content
Oh, I
related.
like his voice.
I
Very
have
cool.
Yeah,
all the
he's great.
ins,
He's a nice
the
guy.
outs, and the ways that the universe works. All that you need to do is like, subscribe, and follow, as well as find us on all our social media platforms. This way you too can have all of your questions answered. Welcome to GodFoe. What is
Crack
this
that whip.
universe
It's
that we
kinda
are
like
diving
Devo.
into? Well, to start things off, we can say that the GodFoe universe is a sci-fi fantasy epic that takes place over several millennia and is told across various artistic mediums, including comics, novels, video games, music albums, short films, and more. All of these mediums come together to create what is known as the GodFoe universe. So, in this expansive universe, we need to understand exactly what the God and GodFoe is. In this world, an all-powerful being known as God, abbreviated GOD, has assumed control of Earth. However, there are those who by one means or another seek to oppose God. These individuals are the GodFoe. Now, this GodFoe universe is absolutely massive. You're talking millennia here. We're talking it stretches between eras, focused points in times where significant events and people exist, such as the GodFoes. Each era includes its own stories. It'll have its own comics, novels, albums, etc., and can be enjoyed as a unique standalone work of art or experienced as a part of a larger overarching GodFoe universe. The first of these eras will begin with the launch of Apollyon 20XX. This era details the rise of God itself in a world that's a little too much like our own, kind of like a not too distant future. That about wraps things up, but I just want to make sure before I head out that you guys like and subscribe. It is very vital to do that, that you follow on all the social media platforms, because in order to be in the know, you need to be in the know.
Very cool. So
Thank
does this take place on Earth? It doesn't.
Yes, it does.
It does.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So different era, different millennia,
Mm-hmm.
different centuries, different stories. Very
yeah.
interesting.
Well, I hope so. And like I said, we've got.
Greasy olives are delicious.
Well, the original idea for it was a government operated device,
Right.
but the main thing is dealing with this. There's this part of man. Not trying to get in preachy, but there's this part of man that wants to be God. I mean, even like every lie you tell is you trying to alter reality, at least in someone else's head.
Mhm.
Right.
Like
That's true. Right.
you can't get over that. But now imagine you had the power to put that on other people. That's the power that our heroes are facing. Is that certain people have found a way to broadcast their intentions on the populace.
Yeah.
Yeah, which imagine that, right?
Oh, no
That would
doubt.
never happen. Dan.
Yeah,
You know,
Of
that's
course
one thing
not.
that's
Oh,
amazed me is I never thought in the especially last 20 years, that we would see the things that we have seen
yeah,
in the real world, in the
yeah.
quote real world, right? That things are accelerating and not for the better,
hmm
like they have been. I never would have thought I had seen it in my
Says you
lifetime,
tell the truth no
you
matter
know.
what. Yeah.
hmm Well,
Agreed.
like, did you was it That Hideous Strength by C.S. Lewis, where he goes into that and even exposes the behind the scenes of technocracy as spiritual and
Mhm.
evil, and is like your
Yeah.
your best intentions usually lead to demonic forces, whether literally or metaphysically or metaphorically. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
we
Oh,
really
absolutely.
we
Yeah.
really want to have those big conversations with people through art and everything else. Like we just want to be engrossed and to have people
Well,
engrossed in that stuff. Yeah.
that was something that I mean, it might not have dealt with politics. It might have not dealt with groupthink or some of the, or
hmm
even the God or anti-God foe issue that you're dealing with here.
Yeah.
But it dealt with parallel worlds. It dealt with multiverse, just all kinds of different concepts that I, as a kid, had never seen
Yeah.
depicted or even hinted at. It opened up the Marvel universe, the DC universe, and a
Mhm.
lot, the whole thing of the magic of comics, you know,
Yeah.
um, things that I would have never occurred to me, were experienced through comics. And that's,
hmm
what's made me a diehard lifelong collector, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
It
That's
really
Cool.
taught me to read
yeah.
in a way.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
and I learned about big events like X-Men. Taught me about the Holocaust and stuff like that. Sorry, I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube or not.
Yeah. Oh,
I
you
don't
can.
care. It's my
But
channel.
Or
yes, so
or
sorry.
bigotry,
It's all
right?
right.
Yeah, but like just
Persecution.
giant concepts you couldn't get
Mhm.
as a kid anywhere else, and no one would teach. They thought you were too stupid. I mean, you read it in a comic book. I
Yeah.
That's
mean,
in
all
history.
kinds of stuff. Yeah,
Well,
you get
one
basic history. Yeah.
one thing I like to do, when I was younger, was go to Walden Books in the mall
hmm
and pick up the novels,
Yep.
even the Marvel novels. Would have nice cover artwork, but that'd be it. I don't even think it had chapter things. It was just a novel, and some of those, we were talking about
Different
this
face.
yesterday on the show, was eventually became comics.
Yeah.
They adapted onto comics, but
Oh
they
yeah.
were, I would not have read something like that had I not experienced comics first.
Well, and Timothy Olson, he said, I would say things are seeing probably. I would say things we are seeing probably have always been, but I think through tech it's easier seeing. Yeah, I mean, and the story, like the story of the Tower of Babel. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Mm,
Man's hubris, and
right.
especially through artifice. And there's a whole symbology thing if you want to go through there. But
Mhm.
man is always trying to elevate himself and always trying to unite under one thing. And that's the big thing what we've addressed is like the recurring theme is like you want to go into weird theories and stuff. It's like why does mankind always build these God Emperor type ideas? Why is it
Mhm.
always like one person or one group at the top, and it's
Bible.
always a triangle shot? You know what I mean?
But the
Bible.
thing of it
Bible.
is also, I think sometimes we do man a disservice and say, yeah, it was aliens that did that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
It's like, oh, okay, man wasn't smart enough to do it on
yeah,
his
right.
own,
Or
and yet
evil enough.
I hear that about ancient technology
hmm
that we've lost, Atlantis and other things like that. And I think that's probably more on par than aliens
Yeah,
built the
Yeah.
pyramids. Man's too stupid. He couldn't do it.
yeah,
How
right.
could he do it? We couldn't even do it today. It'd be very difficult. Okay.
Yeah,
Man's pretty smart. He'll
man's
figure
Yeah.
out a way.
man's never changed, and like that's my thing.
Yeah.
I love, because I grew up in like the postmodern world, unfortunately,
Mhm.
and it's always been crapping on the past. And like, man, if people
They
have
have been.
survived arid deserts, they're smarter than you. Like,
Well, Dan, I think
Yeah.
for most people, history began the day you were born. It's probably pretty much what people think, and they don't even look back, even as far back as that. Some of these new millennial and other, you know, people, they just don't look back. It's they live in the moment, and it's
Mhm.
they don't study history. That's why I'm very impressed with you, Dan, because you look back. You don't go, this movie seems slow, the pacing. Well, yeah, you go back 50 years, it's going to appear slow to you, but it was,
yeah,
Right.
they lingered on the moment. There's a reason for it. Try and put yourself back in 1922 when the Golem was being made. And
oh man, the Golem, dude, that
Yeah.
movie terrified me as a kid. If it's the same one we're talking about, because
Yeah.
if it's
Yeah,
the same one, the
yeah.
one I saw, it like every time it comes back, it can't be destroyed by something, and then at the end they drop an
to
atomic
me,
bomb on it, and
silent
it keeps
movies
walking.
are, because there's no, unless they put music to it,
Yeah.
you're sitting alone in the dark watching
Mhm.
something horrific. And
Yeah.
to me, that's scarier than
I've
a
got,
talkie, you know?
You have the Golem? Oh,
No, no,
let's see that.
I have the Inferno and Haxon as a
Oh,
double feature.
Hexen, Dutch
Yeah,
made. Yeah, that's
Really?
where
Wow.
he eats
Yeah.
the human
And
flesh,
there's
the
the
devil. Yeah.
there's the back. Just look at
Holy.
that.
Yeah.
What
it's-
year did that go? 1926 or something?
I
No,
think
it's
so.
further back than that. 1916
I
or
want
Wow.
1911. Italy.
1911. Yeah, it's an
All right, hold on.
old
I'm sorry. The Inferno was 1911, and Haxon was 1922.
one. Okay.
Ooh,
All right.
that's
Yeah.
cool, man.
And I wanted to get a Faust.
Oh,
'Cause
damn.
I loved that one as well. I love those effects, man. Especially
Golem. Okay,
Golem.
Golem.
Right,
Golem?
Yeah,
Golem.
Golem and Golem
Well,
are two different things.
up
Oy
here,
vey.
Kennedy, whatever.
Hey,
Uh,
Faye.
That'll get you banned.
Yeah, well, they dealt with some adult
Golem.
themes, especially on the pre-code movies.
Yeah.
Because that movie, just those two movies, it wouldn't even be made, after the code. Really, we were talking about that the other day. That once the code came in around 34, 35, you didn't see a woman's cleavage for 20 years in movies.
Horrible.
Or in
That's
my
too bad.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I don't know where to put the quarter
Yeah, where's this? Where?
or the dollar bill or whatever the quoted
There
up
you go.
dollar.
Yeah. Got a place to shove that dollar, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like the past, man, it should kind of scare you, and like that's what's cool is like on the scary side of things. I mean, that's what Orwell learned about is like there's no past, therefore there's no future. There's only a present, and if you can keep people in the present, you control it because then you control the past and the
Wanna swipe
future.
the credit
Right.
card.
That's
Yeah,
like the
right.
credit
But
card.
the history
Exactly.
does inform your now. You know,
Mhm.
like Paul said, and God said, God, I'm the God of now. Now's all you got.
Yeah,
Mhm.
The future may not be here by the time.
Mhm.
Really, the present doesn't even exist by the time. The present's like, wait, and it's gone. It's
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
ever moving.
Word Wizard said we need more cleavage in comic books.
Well,
Do we?
let's,
I think we've got plenty of
We've
that.
got enough. I think we've
probably
got
need to
enough.
show
Let me
more
show you
butt
something,
crack.
guys. Let me show you something. Where the hell
Oh
is it?
God,
Oh, yeah, right
he's
here.
going to show us the cleavage.
Go,
and the
go to
licking of
Kickstarter.
women.
You'll find plenty of it.
Oh, yeah, plenty of cleavage to Kickstarter. This is page
Yeah,
8
you
of the
do.
creep. I got the Valkyrie core. These women, they
Oh,
got plenty of
nice.
cleavage. There you go. There's some cleavage there.
That's great,
There's
man.
more
Yeah, I'm not
cleavage. Look
seeing
at
it.
that.
Oh, I saw that one.
Yeah, there
Wow.
you go. Yeah,
Makes me want to
Cleavage,
take up
uh-huh.
gym work.
yeah,
At
Get the
least
bot
that's
bag.
at least that's historically accurate for Valkyries.
yes. There you go.
Thanks for not giving us the Tessa Thompson Valkyrie.
No, there's a true Valkyrie right there, baby.
Helga.
Yeah.
Helga.
Helga,
Oh,
Olga.
oh, oh,
Oh god.
I saw a meme somebody posted. It was like the modern way to Valhalla is to fight the meth head in Walmart parking lots.
Cleavage. Comic book called Cleavage. Why not? Yeah. Put it
Spell
out
it with
there.
spell it with the A, so it's like a guy cleaving something.
CLEAV. Yeah. AG, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Cleavage.
just want to see a Valkyrie that can catch a tomahawk or axe stone at her with her boobs, right in the middle.
Yeah.
Just catch it without.
I'll see that in a movie. You have to make it somewhere that's outside of
Yeah.
Hollywood. So yeah.
That makes me happy that there are people like, however you feel about the Daily Wire, at least they are trying to make things that aren't Hollywood.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
Like that's
Well, You can go on YouTube.
that's
I
a
mean, some of
reaction.
these Star Trek
Yeah.
fan-made films,
Mhm,
they're
Star
better than
Wars,
what
yeah.
they're putting out now.
I
Oh
agree.
yeah,
Some of these
the
fan-made
technology's
films
there.
are, I mean,
Yeah.
technology's gotten so graphics and everything has gotten so
Mhm.
good. Some of these
Well,
fan-made movies are top-notch Hollywood
Yeah.
productions.
The technical knowledge is there. What we need is the artistic vision.
Yeah.
You gotta
exactly.
have the artistic vision with the technical.
And I
And
think
you
a
can do
big part
anything.
of it, Dan, is you have to be an fan. You have to be a fan of the
Mhm.
You
material.
do.
Why was John Burns so good? Because he was a fan. Since a kid, he was a fan. And all those years, he said, man, if I could do the Fantastic Four, it probably never happened, which he did. But, if he probably said, if I would do that, I would do this and that. And, he had stories that he
Write 'em
had
out.
5 years of stories on Fantastic Four that he unlocked. Now did they differ than when he was a child? Sure, but he had been thinking about it for decades.
Oh
If
yeah.
I could do Fantastic Four, wouldn't it be neat to see Ben do this and redo that? And you got to be a fan of the material to
You
be
do.
really good.
Well, that's the
Some of
thing.
the best writers and artists are
Chili hot
fans.
dog. Oh yeah.
Well, that's the
City
worst part of
class.
things is that the
Chili.
deconstructionist idea has led to anti-fans coming in because the whole
I'm
point was
dumb.
to destroy, and
Yeah, they just want to tear down and destroy, and that's a lot easier than to create something. And they're not going to buy your product in the end. They're going to
No.
talk about it, infinitum, Nazism, whatever. they're gonna talk about it, but they're not going to support it.
yeah. And
There
that's the
needs to
thing.
be a new Hollywood. It's so good on the Daily Wire for trying something new. Also, Ben Shapiro's, well, just my opinion, very cool.
Yeah.
They're trying to counter Hollywood. Yeah, you're right. All the people who run those drama streams.
Again, if you want to see it, create it,
Yep.
or
Yes.
pay to have it created by somebody who's competent to do it. Whatever. I mean, if we, we sat back and we kind of got complacent, didn't we, Dan?
Yeah.
Just as
Mhm.
a nation, as a world, in a lot of
yeah.
ways, and we didn't
Yeah.
learn from history.
We became consumers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've been consumers all my life. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the shame, especially if you want to talk about America as a nation. We were known as pioneers. That was our first identity. We're pioneers.
Yeah.
Now it's consumers.
Yeah.
Yep. And we need to go back to. I mean,
No
that's why I
new
like
worlds
the
to conquer.
idea. Well, I like the idea of the Iron Age. I don't know who started it. I don't care about any of that. But that idea is a brilliant idea. It's time to start. It's time to start forging, and I think it's Bukowski that said, "Find something you love and let it kill you." I think
Wow.
I don't remember, but I mean, but that's what art is. Like,
I don't know
art
if I
is-
want to go to that extreme, but
Yeah.
yeah, but that's what art is and should be. I mean, I think he also said writing is easy. You just sit there and bleed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop quoting.
Well, I
poetry,
mean,
but
art
yeah.
art as well. It takes something out of you.
Yeah, it should. It's
it
supposed
should.
to. It's the closest
If
men
it's any
come to
good.
having birth, other than a kidney stone, which I have, by the way.
Ooh, I've got some remedies for that.
But I mean, but
All
that's the
over
whole
YouTube.
thing, though. That's the whole thing. If you want to talk about men and women archetypal differences,
Mhm.
creation in the physical world is man's act, and that's what we've lost.
Yeah.
And forging, pioneering, go cut down some lumber and forge a road, or write a comic book.
Yeah. Make some pages.
Yeah, we really have lost that adventuresome spirit to that next horizon. You know what? To and also that pioneering spirit to, you know,
Guys.
go where no one's went
No one's
before,
gone before, yeah.
land a stake, put down roots somewhere, and build a life for yourself. You know, and that may be a log cabin. That may be, you know, doing it all yourself. You know, so just survival's not easy. You know,
Well, no, and that's
gotta
a
give it
great,
to 'em.
that's a wonderful idea, Rex. It's a wonderful idea because people think, especially in comics and art, like that you got to be Taylor Swift, you got to be massive, but it's like no, the pioneering spirit is I'm going to go clear out those briars, burn down the underbrush, and I'm going to make a log cabin for me and my family.
Yeah,
You're not building Manhattan, you're not building a skyscraper, you're building for you and your family.
Right. And if it later, if it becomes a success and a legacy, you know, the Ponderosa, like on Bonanza, then it just, you know, it didn't get that way overnight.
No.
Yeah, or it becomes a town where now you have people you like and
Yeah,
you're all
right.
together
You
and
might
you support
found a
each other.
town. That's right.
Yeah. And towns were founded by just average dudes, like Jonestown. Like that's not a good example, but
The largest
what came
tree,
to my head,
the
Jonestown.
largest tree, some of the
Waco.
largest trees started with the smallest seed.
Yeah,
You got to
Absolutely.
plant that seed. You know, there's a time to plant, a time to water it. You know, my friend over in Tennessee, he said, you know, when I was doing missionary work with the homeless, I said, man, I have not seen anyone really respond to what I'm doing here, you know, in a year. And he said, Rex, it may just be that you're there to plant. It might be there that you're to water. You may never see any fruit.
yeah.
And that put it in perspective. You may never see the fruit of your labors,
Well,
but it might be built in and baked in.
and
you know,
that's the humbling and sad part of from a materialist standpoint. Artisans and masons and masters used to think, I'm going to help build this cathedral that won't be finished for 300 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's I want to make something that makes me famous and I can enjoy my influence.
Right. Within my lifetime.
Yeah. That's a new idea in art. That is a completely new idea. It's from the 20th century.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, it goes all the way, I mean, even further back than David and Solomon building the temple, but David wasn't going to see the temple built.
And he wasn't even allowed to build it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. His son was.
He had too much blood on his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think you're not trying to get too esoteric here. I just like talking to you guys. You get the best of both worlds. Like Rex was laying down theology, and Brett was like Waco, Texas. Like, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. I did not know it, but it's the anniversary, December 1st, of Dr. Pepper. That first was served in Waco, Texas.
I was at the Dr. Pepper Museum, by the way.
Oh.
Just this year. It's a great museum.
I hope you got free
that's
samples.
awesome.
Oh yeah, buy them. That's
Okay.
business now.
Yeah.
You know, what's free anymore?
Yeah, and
If you pay me, all right.
that's we
Well,
like
come out with it, and maybe I won't.
Yeah, right. Like go to our site. We have lots of free stuff on there, and I hate
You'll
I
never
hate
get a dime
using-
from me, Finity. I'm just
I
saying.
I hate using the term content because that's
Yeah.
the free art because
Mm.
you don't want to make content. Content is a bastardization of art. You know,
Yeah.
you want to make art, not content. If I had a
Or
motto,
making
it would be
content
make art,
on-
not
on
content.
YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think,
That thing is free.
like I said, you know, it's all over the world. You know, the CG thing, it's all the YouTube comic thing, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people were like, oh, I got to get something out. Oh, I got to distribute. I got to wait. I can crowdfund, you know. Oh, yeah, I just got to get it out content. Well, what are you really trying to say with your book? Is it something important? Is it something universal that we can all respond to? Or is it just dribble? Is it one fight scene after another? I've seen that. I can go to Marvel, back to a Bronze Age or Silver Age book and get more, you know, probably better artists, you know, something out of Marty.
Oh, yeah. Very true. Yeah.
Especially color. We actually did a video on that, like the differences between modern and classic color. I didn't know. I thought the art was bad. My artist Josh sat down and we did like a whole talk, and he's like, no, like 90% of it is color. A lot of dudes
Yeah.
just do not understand color.
Right.
And when he showed me like redid it, I was like, wow, like that's actually pretty good art. The color was just bad.
Right.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah.
at
Color's
any
theory.
stage you can ruin it. You know,
Yeah.
I
Good.
Well, I'm
find
not an artist. I didn't know that. It blew my
I
mind.
can find just showing modern comics, even going back to the 90s, some of them are just too darkly colored.
Yeah.
They're just not, it doesn't suit the art.
That's why
I don't
someone
know
else is
why
making
that
fun of it.
sensibilities kind of come in comics, but there's a lot of colorists, they just go too dark
Yeah.
with their
Some of them
coloring.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand it. You think you could just, but then again, like I have the same opinion on music. I think most music nowadays is overproduced and there's too much bass. It's it just drowns out everything else. Everything's leveled here. I'm not
Right.
going to hijack y'all's stream to talk about music. But
Well, I mean, music comes into it too. I mean, you had to
Yeah.
have things in balance, and then you have to know the rules to break the rules. I'm on a consistent basis. There's
Yeah.
the little caveat. Uh, you might hit upon it once or twice, you know, but most
yeah,
of the time it's going to be an epic fail if you try and break the rules and you don't know what's going on. But
yeah,
I always try and balance things out. But now you can get things unbalanced and still kind of,
yeah.
it still works if you know what
Yeah,
you're doing,
the point
artistic wise.
you need to order. I mean, everything comes from in a archetypal sense. Everything comes from chaos, the nothing or the potential of what could be. You have
Mhm.
to understand order so well that you can order chaos. You got to have the
Right.
passion and the fire and the
Cool.
unknown that comes from it, and you have to have the technical mastery and the skill to capture it and
Was sort of the
incarnate.
concept in my
Yeah,
universe where everything starts going wrong and tripping up and evil's able to invade in a larger way
yeah,
the universe, my universe, is kind of the old Pandora's box, right?
yeah,
Mm,
Unleashing evil
right.
upon the world. And
Right.
that's kind of a premise I go with that you experience over time.
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
and if you think about chaos, I'm trying to think out of the box actually.
Hmm.
I've
Yeah.
had some artists, Tank's one of them,
Mm,
Jeremy Birch was another. Think of chaotic imagery. Just show
Yeah.
me what you think chaos is. You
Hmm.
know, Luke Stone said, who's one of the founders of Fund My Comic, he said, I think I would show an aborted baby discarded. You
Yeah.
know, that's his
Jesus.
imagery in his mind.
yeah.
For somebody
Yeah.
else, it might be something totally different.
Yeah.
But we all have different concepts of anarchy, chaos, and what it would, you know,
Hmm.
and almost Doctor Strange, Steve Ditko's Doctor Strange, his
Yeah.
limbo
Yeah.
landscapes and
Oh, I love
psychedelic
that.
Wonderful
looking
spreads. Yeah.
is almost chaotic,
Yeah.
That's wild.
in a
Yeah.
tame way by today's standards. But there's actually, when you look at Geiger and some other artists out
Oh
there, there's
man.
some
H.R. Geiger.
disturbing
Yeah. H.R.
imagery
Geiger.
out
Yeah.
there that once you see it, you
Yeah.
can't unsee it.
But
And I imagine that in Picasso's
master of his
days,
technical ability though. Yeah.
I mean, I imagine in Picasso's days, Guernica was probably disturbing to some
Yeah.
people, or
Yeah.
de Kooning,
Yeah.
with his ugliness on the canvas. A lot
Yeah.
of people don't call that art, but it's certainly an expression of the human condition as they see it,
Yeah.
or is it? I
Well,
mean, are they
there
just
is a
con
difference
artists?
between there
I
is a
don't know.
difference
Maybe.
between subjectivity and what I call, and I didn't invent this term, aesthetic terrorism, which is what
Mm.
we've lived through for so long, which is
Mhm.
subversive, horrific, chaotic messaging in art that is meant to disorient, that is meant to destroy, that is meant to tear down. There's a difference between subjectivity and that.
Well, you get a shovel
Yeah.
out, you can go deep with it. CIA ops, black,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all kinds of. I don't know the modern art movement.
I've got to find it for you. Like the Soviets pioneered a lot of that stuff for their
Mm-hmm.
prisons, and it was to break people psychologically. And it
Yeah.
was a lot of. I mean, you look at it and it's like, oh, this looks like a modern art piece.
Well, we've
Yeah.
done some of that with Gitmo, with
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
music
yeah.
to disrupt the,
Mhm.
to keep people awake, and then they, after a while, you kind of loosen, and might reveal stuff, on the
Yeah.
intelligent front that we want to learn.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I think that's what I had to describe because people talk about like it's not politics that got to art and comics that destroyed it. It's religion.
but
Pop,
Dan,
yeah.
everything's been made political today. There's
Well,
not
yeah, but
one thing
stick
that's
with me
not
though. Like,
political.
no, stick with me though. Like, people,
Okay.
you've heard the phrase "politics is downstream from culture."
Hmm.
Correct.
Hmm.
Culture is downstream from religion. Religion is the inherent beliefs that individuals have. These people that are making the modern comics bring that belief into it, and it personifies itself in the political slogans that we see, such as feminism and everything.
Mm.
Hmm.
You can't fix that with politics, and you can't fix it with culture. People keep saying, like, "Oh, make a new culture." It's like, no, it has to be those inherent beliefs. The only way to do that is to be as open and honest as possible. I'm not saying everybody needs to convert to Christianity, but
No.
I'm saying you have those inherent beliefs have to be there, and that's what has been destroyed in our nation and culture.
Thanks.
You need to be introspective and to take a hard, a fair assessment of yourself. And I don't see
Yeah,
a lot of the young people doing that. They're, again, it's
yeah,
groupthink.
hmm
You're focused on these exterior things and not at the core. You're treating the disease, the symptoms, but not the core of the disease that will get rid of
hmm
it.
and we address that in chapter 6 of our book. I'm not going to spoil anything, but
Oh, come on!
yeah, well, a scientist is explaining to a general, basically, a psychological subversion because
Hmm.
that's what a lot of our characters went through, and it's you break the self, you destroy the self in someone so you can remake it, and we've seen it 2 generations of that in our own life. That's
Hmm.
what you see on the streets. People that have been broken down and then rebuilt into a mob mentality. It's horrific.
Well,
It is.
just a few years ago, I went to a comic book store. They were relaunching, DC was relaunching Milestone,
Yeah.
and I got all 5 books out. It was about 12 and a half plus tax. That's a chunk.
Yeah.
Okay. And I opened up the first book, and it's
Hey, sorry.
protesters holding Black Lives Matter. And I didn't ask myself that question. I have since then. I said, do I want to read this in 20 years? I mean, I can go on the local
Yeah,
news,
right.
everyday news, and I'm getting that. I don't want it in my comics. I
Yeah.
put them all back.
I want
Yeah.
escapism. I don't
I
want
want
Exactly.
any
escapism. I want
BLM.
Yeah, I
entertainment.
want an
I
ideal.
want a
I don't
fun
want
Yeah,
to
time.
be. Yeah.
I want a
right.
concept that maybe I never thought about or a point of view that,
Exactly.
you know,
Dig out the old 50 cent to dollar bins. You'll find plenty of 80s and 90s,
all
Oh
right,
yeah.
you can
Oh
go to
in
yeah.
there.
dollar bins, 50-cent
Gems.
bins, right, and still get a good
So
read.
good. Better
Yeah.
than those
That's what we're
$4.99
competing against
bar
too.
LBC. Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
that's what's killed me just in the past 2 years is the price of things. Like I pay. Oh, I'm paying like $6 for Frank Miller's Ronin 2 just for the art because the guy that he's
right.
got doing the art is fantastic. I wish
Hmm.
I could. I don't feel like reaching over and grabbing it. Whoever's doing the art
Oh,
for Ronin 2, it's not Frank Miller. He does the layouts. This
right.
kid is great. Like, but anyway, but yeah, everything else I'm not buying. I'm not paying $5 for some like 22-page book that's mostly ads.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Or
insane.
talk a
Yeah.
little coffee talk, in the panels. So
Well,
Not
yeah,
even during Gay Pride Month or some when they're
yeah.
it's
everything's a
season now.
rainbow cover for
It's
that
gay
month
Yeah.
season now.
or an
Pride
Asian
season. Sorry.
annual.
Yeah.
All our Asian characters or oh God,
Chucky versus the Rainbow Man. 48
lesbians from
pages.
cover to stern. Oh God, okay.
I what did I see? Oh, I tried following the more recent Spider-Man run, the Amazing Spider-Man run, or
He's supposed to
whatever.
be
And
Nightcrawler or something.
I
Nightcrawler
don't know. It was
turned
before.
into
It was right
Spider-Man.
before that when they did Red Goblin, and I tried to
Oh, okay.
collect the Red Goblin line. And it was
It's
like
actually
5
good.
issues. It is, but it's only like one fight scene. It's like 2 pages long.
Yeah. They need more fight scenes than that.
the
one.
last
Yeah, agreed.
the last 3 chapters of our book are fight scenes.
You got
And
pages
it's
of
well
pages of
paced.
characters taking selfies and conversation,
And
and it's
talking.
like,
Stupid.
oh
And
God,
he's talking to 6 other Spider-Men. Like, dude, I don't care. I didn't care about
Just
Right.
Batman
fight
Incorporated. I
somebody.
don't, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
It was like it's that Family Guy where he's like, for God's sake, somebody throw a pie. Like,
Yeah. throw a pie. Anyone.
somebody
Caw,
throw a
caw.
pie.
Well, a lot. I think a misnomer is that they're not making any money. They are making. They are making some money off this. But it's not, and they're not going to
Like
turn that
like
boat around
you mean
till
like ESG
5 or
money?
6 years
It's
in.
not
They don't even
ESG
see
money
a
more like
problem
that.
yet.
Yeah.
You know.
Or in facsimiles, they make some money. You have the
Yeah.
reprints. That's about
Mhm.
it.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
if you guys would just like reprint the Dark Knight Returns again, like sure, why not
Yeah.
make some more money?
DC's losing money. Reprint the Dark
Well,
Knight. Yeah,
I
great
see
color.
them doing a lot of that, Dan. It's kind
Mhm.
of under the
Yeah.
radar, but since George Perez has died, I've seen more George Perez. They're still
Yeah.
trying to
George
capitalize
Perez
on some of that
covers.
stuff that they
Yeah.
knew that they know. They know when they
Yeah.
know, who reads their books. If you don't know in this age of
Yeah.
that's all about collecting information on who,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you can go online and probably you can tell, yeah, I like Flash Gordon, I like that because of things I've clicked on.
Yep.
You tell me you that they can't get a dossier on every person that buys their comics books on a regular basis or semi-regular basis. They know when it
But
comes down to it what people want. They just
but that's the hubris though. They can look and see aggregated data of what people want and be like,
Mhm.
no, what you want is this. We're gonna make this. That's that's the future. That's the future is aggregating so they
Yeah.
can realign your
Agreed.
wants to what they want you to want. And when
Mhm.
it doesn't work, because it never works, Lysenkoism, like in the Soviet Union, you can't just plant a bunch of plants and expect it to work.
Right.
When they finally realize they can't change reality, then maybe we'll see something.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Either
mean,
yeah.
they've had some bonehead moves in the
Oh
past
God.
Yeah.
anyway. A big one, I think it was mentioned, Adventure Comics earlier. Adventure Comics, they've celebrated, I mean, one of DC's 4 titles, really 3 at that time because I think one had canceled, but I mean, they canceled an anthology. The
Wow.
anthology can be anything.
Yeah.
Put
Yeah.
your most popular characters on it. Avengers, they redo them with the new Avengers.
Yep.
They put
Right.
people like David Finch on there. They got like popular characters that you didn't even look at, like Wolverine. Do you
Yeah.
think Avenger when you think of Wolverine? But they were popular characters, and that thing sold like hotcakes with
Mm-hmm.
Spider Woman and other characters. They
Yeah.
even
New
took
Avengers.
Hawkeye in a new
Yeah.
direction with Ronan, you
Yeah.
know, a little edgier character with him. Um, they
Dracula.
did something new and exciting
Yeah.
with it. That was a bonehead move to they later revived it, but it was, once you cut it off,
Mhm.
I mean, the last 2 years were in digest form, little digests like
Oh
this,
God.
you
Yeah.
know,
Let's
little
see
bitty
that.
digests, but
Yeah.
still
Bring it
they
up.
kept
Bring
it
it up.
running. They just celebrated 500 issues and they canceled it at 503. Bonehead move.
How dumb.
It could have been anything.
Well, how many new
Uh,
number ones have we gotten like in the past 2 years?
Exactly.
too
We
damn
even got an
many
Action Comics
relaunches.
#1.
Yeah.
If there's a
You know.
another writer artist team, they always relaunch it with a #1. This is
Mhm.
the dumbest
Well,
thing
why
ever.
not? Why not? If you want to do some of this woke stuff, why not bring back the sort of '80s model of 5-issue limited series, 4-issue limited series,
Right.
or better still, the Teenage Mutant Ninja micro series, 1 of 1,
Yeah.
oh,
It's because woke's only about
one shot.
destruction. It's not.
Yeah.
There's no plan. It's just degradation and
Yeah.
destruction. Because it all
Yeah.
goes. If we have to say like it goes back to like Gnostic belief, and it goes back to like when like
Mhm.
Marx's fascination with Faust, where he's like everything that exists deserves to be destroyed.
Well, the funny thing you
Yeah.
mentioned
Yeah.
Gnosticism, Dan. Gnosticism
Yeah.
died out in the 1600. What arose right after that? We had just purged the church
Yeah.
of this crappy thinking that had been around for centuries. And what rears its head? Oh, the Ottoman Empire,
Yep.
Muslim
Yep.
belief. Okay, all of a
Well,
sudden. Okay.
and Hegel was like a Gnostic for his time, like a materialist Gnostic or whatever, even though he said he wasn't. And the state was
Mhm.
all that, and Marx was like, no, we'll be the real materialist Gnostics, and
Obama was a Christian too. Same difference.
and
Right.
an American, right?
I don't see any
Sure.
fruit. Hello, and an American. Yeah, he was born in America, right?
Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
Africa's part of America.
Even though
Sure
his
enough.
grandmother says he was born in Kenya. Just
It's,
saying.
it's
Kenya.
I
There's a
think
difference of
It's on
opinion.
Hawaii.
but that's what kind of frustrates me, especially with
Yeah.
like people discussing the woke stuff. It's like, dude, it's a ball of acid. Like you're not gonna. There's no point. It's just to destroy.
Agreed.
You're not. There's
Yes,
no point.
Pastor Dan. Hey.
Hey, Passmaster.
Hey, you go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they beat down Gnosticism, but it seems like the devil's always got something, another plan in the works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and thankfully he's not ours to beat.
Right,
Right.
exactly
Right.
right. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
But
And
I think the
it's not
only
that they're
good.
rejecting you and your Christian message, which
Yeah,
you can't help but what Chuck Colson drove this home to me. It's a worldview.
yeah.
It's how you view the world.
It's a totalitarian view.
You're looking through a
That's the good
Christian
thing about
lens.
it.
Not everybody looks through a Christian lens. I get it.
Yeah,
Right.
They think it's a myth, a fable. They'll never convince me of that. But
Yeah.
that's not their job, and it's not my job to, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my job to share the gospel. If they don't want to hear it, that's on them. It's
Yeah.
that's not a reflection on me. That's a rejection of Christ, not of me
Yeah.
personally.
Right.
Well,
That's the way I look at it.
and that's why, in this sense, it's so important to create.
Mhm.
It's so
Can I
important to
And
build.
show God's creativity. I think He wants
Yeah.
us all to be
Right.
creative people.
And ever
Entertain.
creative, and ever
See you, Tank.
creative God, you need to create, and that's. I mean, that's all. I could do a whole podcast on that, especially growing up.
Oh
in
yeah,
churches
there
and
you
things.
go,
Like,
man. The
yeah,
Creator God, you got to
Yeah.
create, right?
yeah.
We
Yeah,
live in a creative world. I mean, how many species of animal and sea life and bugs and stuff that we discover every month, every week, every year?
I
It's
think that's
amazing.
why, like, a lot of young people or younger Christians are gravitating towards orthodoxy or orthodox and Catholicism because they both support iconography. And I mean, I'm Protestant. I was raised Protestant,
And there's
like,
some stability
Right.
there.
Yeah,
A
but
certain amount of safeness.
the Protestant church, at least after like 1900,
Mhm.
has failed artists, and that's
Yeah.
a bold statement, but it's absolutely true. Like, it's been ripping off art. It
How
hasn't been
dare you!
creating anything.
Right.
Like, that's why we got like God's Not Dead and movies like that, instead of something that is bold and creative. And
Master Dan
got
has
yeah,
profound statement. Jesus said, "If you have found the world, you have found a corpse."
nice.
Good point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Recrusions and Gnostics have similar beliefs. I gotta look into that again. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the council.
yeah. They'd agree on canon.
Conan. Yeah.
Well,
Conan.
that's what subdues a lot of people or tricks
Yeah.
them, right? There's a grain of truth.
Mhm.
I mean, even in what the devil told, he was quoting scripture to Jesus.
Yeah,
He was just omitting things. He was outright, lying or, I mean, but it's the grain of truth that he gave Eve, that
Yeah.
that kind of, I mean, if it's out and out, what often, if it's alive, you won't believe it. And you can't convince me. It's wrong. 2 + 2 is 4. Okay. If I tell you 2 + 2 is 36, there's no, I can talk myself in the blue in the face and show you. And it's not there. It's not there, especially if you've something you've experienced,
yeah.
like it'll be good if you stick your hand in this machinery. No, I did it by accident. It took off 2 fingers. I'm not doing it again, and there's nothing I can tell that person of experience. Go ahead and do it. It won't hurt you.
Yeah.
Once you've been burned, you hopefully learn from it.
Yeah, and that's yeah, there's a whole lot to that. And we try to address man's hubris in our book, and not from a grand academic work.
Mm-hmm.
We try to just show it in ways that you see in real life. And
which, didn't you say there was like 6 main characters? That's a lot to juggle.
It
Yeah,
is.
And to infuse them with
one of them's a dog.
Characteristics that characteristics that
Yeah.
you would care, because by the end of 175 pages or whatever it is, you want people to be invested in the dog and everybody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And that's the problem I see with a lot of these things. I don't care. It was an okay movie, but I really didn't. The effects were good. It was passable. I watched Strange New Worlds, the first season of Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
At the end of
Yeah.
that, I'm not invested in any of those
Yeah,
characters.
how many
Really,
movies you walk out of, and by the time you get to your car, you've forgotten you watched it.
yeah, it's not making an impact that it shouldn't. You know, when Jean Grey died in the X-Men, I
Yeah,
cried
Oh,
because Claremont had been building those characters up for like 2-3 years,
yeah.
and it was a fictional character, and I'm crying.
And he intended for her to stay dead.
Yeah,
yeah. It's
Yeah.
funny about John Byrne Elswin brought Jean Grey, of course, back to life, and he didn't want her to die.
Mm-hmm.
that's good characterization.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, and I see a lot of people, you know, they might have, you know, the exterior look, but where's the
Mhm.
meat? You know, where's the
Yeah.
core
Well,
of
and
what you're trying to say?
yeah,
Where's the core
we
of
try to
your characterization?
One technique we use to try to make those characters 3D is each chapter begins with a chapter title page. Basically, it says chapter 1, chapter 2, and it has the
Mhm.
character on it whose perspective it's going to be from. So
Oh, that's
each
cool.
chapter you get a different internal dialogue, and it deals
Mhm.
with them. So
And there's a
yeah.
lot of ways you can build that. Like I have visual cues,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
yeah,
uh, just like Schindler's List.
Yeah.
You know, black and white, but those red shoes really made a statement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you use color, I have one story that's spot colored that will be spot colored, and the colors there for a reason. Everything
Yeah.
should, even if it doesn't appear like it's a throwaway
Mhm.
line, you can always circle back to it, right? There should be
Yeah.
some kind of buildup, some kind of payoff. A lot of these new properties, there's no payoff, and really, there's very little buildup.
Yeah, there's not much in
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll tell you-
I saw a pretty decent sci-fi movie, a lower budget sci-fi movie, and the principal character was a guy and a girl. They a woman, and they never even hinted that they liked each other.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
movie
wow.
was decent till the very end, and then their ending was they wound up in bed together. Because of course that's what you do. There was no build up to it. I don't even like you or whatever. They
Wasn't
never
Yeah.
hinted if
Happened
they
in
liked
bed.
each other. It's just we don't have an ending. We'll put them in bed because that's exciting. And
Yeah.
they didn't show anything. You know,
No.
it's just like there was a crappy ending that ruined a, you know,
They should
fairly
have
lukewarm
insert some
movie.
1970s little graphic, you know,
Oh yeah, in the early
Yeah.
70s, you could have got more
Well,
out
tell
of
yeah,
you,
a
a
lot
movie.
more.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, guys. We did this for people who signed up for the pre-launch.
Uh-huh.
I've got chapter 1 that we just handed out. I'll put it in the link. Now,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, for everybody watching. It's got some grammatical stuff. I think we use like the word we're supposed to say a way, and it's a way. It's the
Okay.
first draft of it.
Mhm.
But I'll put it up in the
Yeah.
comment section here.
Okay.
It's a Dropbox. You
Do
guys
that.
can just read like the first 35 pages, which is like chapter 1.
Okay.
A lot of people wouldn't do that because they're afraid it's going to affect their sales. We just want transparency. People know what they're getting.
Right.
And 20
And everybody
people already
needs a
have
good
it.
editor. And
Yeah.
you know, I had some good editors, and there's still a mistake in there, which will
Oh,
be
yeah, it's gonna
rectified. You know,
happen.
Yeah.
and it's kind of a semi mistake. It's like, well, that's misspelled. Yeah, it could be the way he kind of thinks and speaks
Mhm.
too,
True.
because he's kind of like a mobster. He's not the brightest bulb,
Right,
infinity in the box.
It's like
Anyway.
jazz. It's always intentional. Just
Yeah, those, I hope your significant other put the kids to bed. Otherwise,
yes.
they're still going to be, you know, on the sugar high. They'll stay up as long as you let them. You know.
Oh, I know. Believe
Yeah.
me. Let me download this real quick, and I'll
Okay.
put it up in the Dropbox. Give me just a second if you
Yeah.
guys want to
All right.
address
Hopefully,
anything, 'cause I'd like to do
hopefully
it
when he
live
comes
people
on my
are here.
channel, he'll do away with the bisexual lighting. But anyway, moving on. I had to say that.
Shadowhawk,
didn't.
are
Let's
you
go
Shadowhawk? Are you addressing me again? Where's the book? Where's the delivery?
No,
date?
no,
Give
that
us
was
some
Finity.
fun-
No, that's he's
Finity.
talking to
It's
Finity.
Finity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's Finity.
Hey man, Infinity's cool, man. Don't give me too much.
Kennedy's going to be working on his book for now infinitum.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and present something while you get where you're
Yeah.
No,
looking for your link.
I've been privy to see a lot of the pages there. You know,
I don't think Dan's seen my Fembat trailer, so we'll put it over
Nice.
there. Yeah.
we gotta hurry and get this thing out there. It'll be Filmbat versus Devil Flyer before this thing comes out. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man.
I don't know what DVB was trying to say there. It says, sorry. So, Apex, are you ever going to do?
Huh?
I
Three
don't know.
THR? Oh, typo. Oh, I don't know.
Sorry, typo, but he never
Oh, never
corrected
finished your
himself.
corrected your. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
let's go. I know, right? Damn, let's go.
Let's go, baby. Let's go,
Go.
baby. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's Saturday night.
Saturday
And
night, definitely. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, guys.
It's a Saturday
So
night special.
it's a Saturday night, 2.5 hours. Man, it's been a great stream. Thanks.
Oh, it's been a good
coming
one.
in.
Yeah. Who knew
Really.
Dan was such an interesting person?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know.
I
You're
thought-
gonna have him on your 4 o'clock.
I
shadow.
thought he was going to be boring as
No,
but
I
he
didn't
proved
think
me
that.
wrong.
I try to be. I try to be very boring.
It never comes out that way. All right,
Yeah.
well, go support
It's the
Dan
quiet
Evans'
ones that
GodFoe
surprise you.
Universe Apollyon 20XX, guys.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah. Here's
What-
here's the link to chapter 1. Like I said, I know it's got some grammatical issues. and
170
stuff like
something pages for $25. It's a no-brainer. Give
you're
it
gonna
a
put it up
try.
in the chat. Okay, you got it.
Yep. Like I said, I know it's
Alright,
got
there you go.
errors, guys. I know it's misspelled.
It's okay.
But
Go
now
with it.
those are going to be the rare ones, the first
punk rock.
draft that got through that everybody will be wanting later.
Yeah.
Even Cyberfrog
Take
had
care,
some
you sir.
mistakes. Come
Well,
on,
they're
now.
but
Yeah.
they've not printed, so that's good.
Okay, well, I'd say get
Oh,
a better
Citizen
editor.
333, right? That's still in the back burner. But you like changed your name and stuff. So
You know, Dan, one
Yeah.
of my editors is my neighbor, and she teaches
Come up
English
with
at a university,
scripts.
and she still missed
We'll
this
talk.
one thing that this other artist caught in my ash can.
Oh, really?
So,
Oh,
I mean, you can
sorry.
have multiple eyes on it and still miss it. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
and you
Yeah,
know you can be so close to a project, and especially one as massive as yours is,
Yeah.
you can miss a lot.
Yeah, and guys, everybody in the chat, feel free to share that chapter 1. I don't care. We will have full transparency.
Cool.
If it's not for you, it's not
Try
for
before you buy, folks.
you.
Yeah.
But
Can't beat that.
yeah, and it's like 36, 37 pages. Like, knock yourself out.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
All
That's-
right.
But thanks a lot, you guys. Thank you so much, Brett. Thank you so much, Rex.
You're welcome.
It was a total blast. This is the longest one I've ever done. It was so much
It
fun.
was a blast, yeah.
Time passes when you have fun. Of course, you got Devilfly Rex is 11 a.m. and 4 o'clock shadow. 11 a.m. tomorrow, Sunday, being a church day. They got something going on.
Yeah, we have
there.
a Bible study at 11 every Sunday.
That's awesome.
We'll be kind of reviewing, watching the Bible, 1960, but
Yeah,
off air. We always
I'm
do
actually-
an intro and then I
yeah.
go off.
I'm actually at church, seeing. the
Yeah, a
choir.
lot of people are, but
What
for
part do you
people who
sing?
aren't and they want to
Tenor.
still
Oh, wow.
feed
I
their
was a baritone.
spiritual guy,
that's cool. Right on.
That's
We
cool.
have a pitch in. All right. All right. So you guys have a great week, great year, rest of the year, and continue to think positive. Help your, support your fellow creators. Hail Comicsgate. God bless you. Love you, Jesus. Love you, God. Everyone have
keep collecting.
keep collecting. Ciao for
Mhm,
now.
mhm.
And
Right.
I got please check out Fun My Comic. Yeah. Check out the Fun My Comic.
Yeah, man.
All right. See
Infinity.
y'all later.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.